Family cultivation. I can improve my magic weapon. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 176, Massive Killing. The huge roar continued to sound, and after receiving several attacks one after another, the light of the entire spiritual armor Greenwood formation dimmed a bit. It seems that if the fight continues, the formation will be broken in less than a stick of incense. Shanghai panicked. Run, quickly, the patriarch and the others must have been killed. The one taking the lead is Chen Qingyun. He is a late-stage foundation-building monk. Now we are all doomed. There are several immortal cultivators. Fifth Elder, please think of a solution quickly. Fifth Elder, can you beat them? These children of the Zhao family had no courage to fight, and many people's eyes fell on Zhao Chenghai. Give it a damn. Zhao Chenghai's face was calm, as if he was not panicking when something happened. He was already panicking in his heart and wanted to turn around and leave now, away from the Zhao family. However, once the formation is out of the way, it will lead to self-destruction. It is better to hide in the formation for safety. Why panic? Our Zhao family's spirit armor Greenwood formation is not a vegetarian. No. Chenghai suppressed the panic in his heart, looked at Chen Qingyun, then looked at the rest of Chen Qingyun, and hummed twice. This spiritual armor Greenwood formation can withstand the attacks of 3 foundation-building monks. Among them, only Chen Qingyun's cultivation has reached the foundation-building stage. As long as we hide in the formation and don't get out, they can't do anything to us. Boom. Just when Zhao Chenghai finished speaking, the entire spirit armor Greenwood formation trembled violently, and with a huge roar, a long and narrow crack appeared in the formation. Click. Immediately afterwards, the fiery sky sword, the golden spirit mother blade, and the fire bullet technique were struck one after another, and more cracks appeared. Oops. As Zhao Chenghai watched with wide eyes and horror, the entire formation was covered with spiderweb-like cracks and suddenly shattered. The spirit-armored Greenwood formation that he was proud of only lasted for a moment before it was forcefully broken open by Chen Qingyun and others. The formation is broken. One of the children of the Zhao family screamed in fright, and his heart was filled with despair. He was completely desperate now. Fifth Elder, didn't you say that the formation cannot be broken? A while ago, they were trying to survive by relying on the formation, but the Chen family monks had nothing to do with them. Now that the formation was broken so quickly, it was really doomed. That means that the Chen family sent 3 foundation-building monks this time? Many people have this idea in their minds and are completely desperate. It's dead. It's really dead now. Fifth Elder, let's surrender quickly. Some of the children of the Zhao family lost their mentality and fell to their knees and screamed wildly, while the others fled in panic. Boo-hoo-hoo. After breaking the formation, Chen Qingyun and 8 others flew into the Zhao family and began to encircle and suppress the remnants of the Zhao family. Chen Qingyun wiped the storage bag with his palm, took out the 3 puppets of 5 elements, Lu, and Earth element, and landed on the island to start a killing operation. Chen Qingyun, Chen Qingyun and others took action one after another, driving away and killing the surrounding Zhao family disciples without any mercy. Having lost the protection of the formation, the Zhao family is now reduced to nothing more than fish and meat, being slaughtered by Chen Qingyun and others. Zhao Chenghai was so frightened that he left behind the formation disc that controlled the spirit armor Greenwood formation and was about to set up his flying boat to escape from here. Immediately afterwards, he saw a figure coming towards him. The Zhao family is dead today. I hope you will let me go. Feeling that the cultivation aura released by the other party had actually reached the foundation building stage, Zhao Chenghai shuddered and begged for mercy in a panic. I swear I will never cause trouble to the Chen family in the future and leave the Xingsha Islands. Wu Xing ignored Zhao Chenghai's words and directly used the fireball technique to shoot out. The blazing flames surged forward, and Zhao Chenghai looked horrified. As he gritted his teeth, He quickly used a defensive shield to resist. As a result, there was a loud bang, and there was no time to scream. The fifth elder of the Zhao family was blown to pieces by the firebomb technique with his defensive shield, and he was unable to even resist a single blow. The Zhao family had no monks to resist, and the remaining people could not pose any threat. They were driven together and became prisoners. Chen family, you killed us today. I will remember this revenge. A Zhao family disciple looked at Chen Xianming with a stern expression. Chen Xianming activated the flying sword and cut off the man's head, and the big head fell to the ground. Who else wants revenge? Facing Chen Xianming's questioning and looking at the wide-eyed head rolling down on the ground, all the Zhao family disciples became frightened and became as silent as cicadas. Where is your clan treasury? Chen Xianming asked the first question. After asking, no one among the Zhao family disciples answered. Chen Xianming was too lazy to say anything and said in a cold tone, I only ask each person once. After saying this, he looked down at the Zhao family disciples kneeling in front of him and asked again, where is the clan treasury? The man kept silent, gritted his teeth secretly, raised his head and glared at Chen Xianming. Poof! The flying sword flashed through the cold light and beheaded the Zhao family member in public. Immediately afterwards, Chen Xianming asked the next person where the clan library was. Seeing that the usually peaceful clan leader was killing people without blinking an eye and taking decisive action, Chen Qingyun watched quietly without any intention of stopping him. These Zhao family members would have been killed long ago if they hadn't been worthy enough to stay and inquire. Facing Chen Xianming's inquiry, some people were stubborn at first, but after killing 3 people in a row, someone finally got timid and answered the question. Then came many other inquiries. For example, whether there are monks outside the Zhao family. Who is guarding the Fangxi store opened by the Zhao family. The status of the family's various industries, etc. After the inquiry was completed, Chen Qingyun and Chen Daoren were asked to verify the location of the clan library and the authenticity of several questions. Chen Xianming showed no mercy, leaving only one Zhao family member alive and killing the rest. Lead the way. Chen Xianming ordered. Go to your clan treasury. This son of the Zhao family was so frightened that he was trembling with fear. He didn't even dare to fart, so he quickly led the way. Everyone followed him through several halls and came to the north of the island, in front of an ancient hall. This is where the Zhao family treasury is located. A formation has been set up all year round. Only the clan leader can open this formation. Otherwise, you can only rely on brute force to break it open, which will take a lot of effort. Second level, low-grade formation. Chen Qingyun followed on one side and felt the strength of the formation outside the palace. This measure to protect the family treasury was much more powerful than the first-level high-grade formation set up by the Chen family. It's just a second-order low-grade formation. It doesn't matter, just break it. Chen Xianming said lightly, and when he raised his hand, the fiery sky sword appeared, whizzed out, and slashed straight at the formation in front of him. The second-level low-grade formation can only withstand the attacks of monks in the early stages of foundation building. There is no need for Chen Qingyun and others to take action. Just 3 sword strikes and the formation will be shattered. Seeing Chen Xianming's strength, the Zhao family disciple didn't dare to disobey even if he had 10,000 courage, and he led the way in a very shameless manner. Several people pushed open the Vermilion Palace door and stepped inside. They felt as if a burst of light was rising in front of their eyes, and there were spiritual lights shining. When Chen Qingyun entered the palace, his eyes almost hurt from the flash of light in front of him. Chapter 177, Searching the Treasure House. So many spiritual stones. Chen Qingyun's eyes lit up, and he and Chen Qingyun looked over, only to see 6 spiritual hills piled up in front of them, one by one, all spiritual stones. The rich spiritual energy rushed in his face, full of spiritual charm. The whole hall did not need a light source at all. These glittering spiritual stones were enough to illuminate the surroundings. Chen Qingyun's expression moved, attracted by these piles of spiritual stones. And at this time there was only one thought in his mind. The Zhao family is really rich. This is at least 50,000 spiritual stones. While everyone was looking at the spiritual stones, the voice of the Zhao family member slowly sounded, with a flattering intention. These spiritual stones are said to be left by the clan leader in order to impact the Purple Mansion period in the future. Together with the spiritual stones carried by the clan leader, it is estimated that there are as many as 100,000. 100,000 spiritual stones. This background of the Zhao family was really beyond everyone's expectations. It was originally estimated that there would be a profit of 10,000 or 20,000 spiritual stones by plundering the Zhao family treasury. Unexpectedly, there were a full 100,000 spirit stones, which inevitably shocked me a little. However, if I think about it carefully, it is to prepare for the impact of the Purple Mansion stage in the future. So it is reasonable to store these spirit stones here. Cultivating a Purple Mansion stage cultivator is obviously more deterrent than having a few more foundation building cultivators, and it can also be promoted to a Purple Mansion family in one fell swoop. Slowly withdrawing thoughts from the spirit stones, everyone looked at the situation in the hall again. The area of the hall reached more than 3,000 square meters. And the huge black display shelves filled most of the hall area. On those shelves, magic tools, elixirs, refining materials, herbs, storage bags, talismans, collections of exercises, etc. were placed in order by category. At a glance, it was full and dazzling. These are all the resources collected by the Zhao family. As long as you can see them, you can use them. The Zhao family member was afraid that he would be killed with a sword if he didn't take the initiative, and continued to introduce them to everyone. Usually, only the clan leader can come here. I heard the fifth elder mention this place. I only know what is collected here, but I don't know the exact number. The shelf at the back is filled with storage bags and spirit beast bags, as well as some ancient book collections. Everyone's eyes lit up as they listened to the introduction. Just from what the naked eye can see, they realize how valuable the treasures here are, at least more than 60,000. As the head of the Chen family, Chen Xianming naturally knows everything about the Chen family's clan library. But at this moment, the Chen family library is simply not on the same level as here. The foundation of the Chen family library is not even half of that here. The light in Chen Xianming's eyes surged, and he immediately went forward to check. First, he came into contact with the magic tools, many of which were first-level, middle-grade and high-grade, and also contained second-level magic tools, and magic treasures. Magic weapons used by great monks in the Purple Mansion period. Chen Xianming was secretly excited, and this was such a close contact with magic weapons. At the same time, Chen Daoran, Chen Qingyun and others checked the collections and were surprised by the rich collections here. They sighed from time to time. Chen Qingyun was attracted by the nearby shelves. He saw that they were full of jade slips, books, and classics. He flipped through them and found that they were all cultivation techniques. Qingmu, Qingguang, Bing Sishu, Yunshu Irrigation Shu, Jin Mangju, Xuan Hao Jiakan Bayan, Baodun Shu. There are at least 100 of them. They can collect so many techniques. In terms of foundation, they have to admit that they are better than the Chen family. Several people roughly counted. According to Chen Xianming's comparison, the storage capacity of magic tools, elixirs, talismans, etc. here is about twice that of the Chen family. Just as the Zhao family member said, the last row of display shelves were filled with storage bags and spirit beast bags, each of which had at least 200. The market price of a most basic storage bag is 20 spirit stones. The spirit beast bag is much more expensive. It can not only store things, but also become a habitat for spirit beasts. It starts at least 100 spirit stones. Chen Xianming took the lead and took out several storage bags and said to Chen Qingyun and others, "Okay, don't just look at them, hurry up and pack them all up and take them back to the family." "Yes, yes, yes." Chen Qingyun nodded repeatedly after hearing this. He immediately picked up 2 brand new storage bags from the display shelf and put the skills in front of him into the storage bags without hesitation. Chen Daoran, Chen Qingyun and others also took action and began to follow suit, Harvesting the resources here. Chen Qingyun was not polite and aimed at the magic weapon area, putting many magic weapons into the storage bag one by one. These resources in the clan library used more than 60 storage bags before they were all packed and taken away. How could the Zhao family not think that the storage bags stored here would one day become the tools for the Chen family to plunder here? It was like they prepared their own storage bags to help collect the spoils. During this period, the Zhao family member waited for an opportunity to slip away, but was caught by Chen Qingyun and killed with a sword. Then, several people walked out of the hall. There is another Zhuxiantu at the third level of Qi refining in the Black Cliff Market. Qingyun, Daoran, you go and deal with him. Be careful and don't break the rules of the market. Chen Xianmin ordered. The Zhao family uses inheriting the ancestors and keeping the righteousness and passing it down as the family generation name, and the Chuan generation name is equivalent to the Nian generation name of the Chen family. To eliminate the Zhao family, naturally no cultivator can be left behind. Even if the use of force is prohibited in the Black Cliff Market, there are still many ways to get rid of Zhuxiantu. As for the unarmed Zhao family mortals, there is a clear rule in the Xinghai Zhuxian world that in the competition and fighting between Zhuxian families, mortals of all races cannot be slaughtered at will. The mortals in the secular world are actually far away from the family cultivators. They have long been separated from immortals and mortals. They live separately and cannot participate in the decision-making of family affairs. In order to develop, the Zhao family has begun to abandon the family mortals. Only when testing spiritual roots will they communicate with the family mortals. The Zhao family mortals have gradually become self-reliant, and their blood has long flowed into other family mortals, scattered in various secular places in the Xingsha Islands. The Chen family wiped out the Zhao family, killing the Zhao family cultivators and the warriors here. The rest of the Zhao family mortals did not live on Yuanzhu Island, so they naturally did not need to be driven away. After receiving the order, Chen Daoran and Chen Qingyun flew to the Black Cliff Market as soon as possible to prevent Zhuxiantu from receiving the message and running away. Chen Qingyun and his companions then focused on the various resources of the Zhao family. The Zhao family has been developing for more than 300 years, and there are two family resources. One is the cultivation of Ling Shabai, and the other is the cultivation of spiritual medicine. Ling Shabai is a kind of shellfish seafood with a wide sales volume. It is similar to Ling's collops and can be eaten, but it cannot assist in cultivation. The Zhao family occupies about 20% of the Ling Shabai market in the entire Xingsha Islands, which can bring in about 4,500 in revenue each year. Chapter 178 Thunder Pattern Fruit. The Zhao family can earn 4,500 spiritual stones per year by breeding Ling Shabai, which is a considerable income. The total annual income of ordinary foundation building families cannot reach this standard. Ling Shabai is also a shellfish seafood, and it is easy to breed like Ling's collops. We can have another resource industry in the future. Looking at the Ling Shabai emerging from the sand on the beach after the tide receded, Chen Daoran squinted and smiled. Hee, this Ling Shabai is said to be delicious. We harvested so much this time. After we go back, we will cook some and taste it. Chen Qingyun said with a little greed. Everyone roughly counted the number of Ling Shabai, at least more than 5,000, and many of them survived in the shallow sea area. They were isolated by the formation and would not swim into the vast ocean. After learning about the situation of the Ling Shabai industry, the next step is the spiritual medicine planting industry. In the Zhao family's medicine garden, various first-level and second-level medicinal herbs are lush and green, and the planting is very complete. Chen Qingyun made a preliminary statistics. There are more than 1,000 plants under 100 years old, more than 60 plants over 100 years old, and 22 plants over 100 years old. The total value of these spiritual medicines, conservatively estimated, has reached more than 30,000 spiritual stones, which can provide the Zhao family with an annual income of about 3,300. There is a reason why the Zhao family can't store tens of thousands of spiritual stones. Now, Cheng himself is an alchemist, and I heard that he has reached the second level lower level. There are also 3 alchemists in the Zhao family. They are much better than us in the field of alchemy. They can accumulate tens of thousands of spiritual stones. They really have some foundation. These spiritual medicines are really a lot. Checking the many herbs in the medicine field, Chen Xianmin can feel the gap between the Chen family and the Zhao family, and can't help but sigh. This time, because of the quick action, the Zhao family did not expect that they underestimated the enemy and did not take them away in time, or simply destroyed these spiritual medicines, otherwise they would not let the Chen family get them. Chirp, chirp. Just when Chen Qingyun had just finished browsing the spiritual medicines in the medicine garden, Mo Ling in the spiritual beast bag suddenly cried out, conveying the idea of flying out. Chen Qingyun's mind moved, and he opened the spiritual beast bag. Mo Ling fluttered his wings and flew out, and called around him happily a few times. Then, under the gaze of several people, he flew towards a red herb not far away. What delicious food did the little guy find? Chen Qingyun was attracted by Mo Ling's behavior, and walked forward with Chen Qingyun, only to see Mo Ling opening his mouth to eat something. A closer look revealed that it was a few fruits on the red herb. This is the thunder pattern fruit. Chen Xianming recognized the origin of the spiritual medicine at a glance and looked at it with interest. The thunder pattern fruit is extremely rare, with an appearance of half a human size. It will take 100 years to mature and produce 3 or 4 fruits. There are lightning-shaped patterns on the surface of the fruit, which is very easy to identify. The thunder attribute power contained in this kind of spiritual fruit can be used to refine the 2nd grade top grade thunder spirit pill, which has the wonderful effect of removing filth and evil spirits. It is very beneficial for thunder attribute cultivators to take it, and it can save several years of hard practice. A thunder pattern fruit is worth 300 spirit stones. Chen Qingyun was about to go forward to take Mo Ling back, but he saw Chen Xianmin smiling and saying, "Many spirit beasts are quite intelligent and have the ability to identify herbs. They know which herbs are useful to them. Let it eat it first. This must be useful for it." Yes. Chen Qingyun nodded in agreement. The little guy is really smart. He knows how to identify herbs. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun no longer stopped him and watched Mo Ling eat the thunder pattern fruit with a smile. In a few bites, Mo Ling finished the first thunder pattern fruit. Then the second and third thunder pattern fruits were eaten. After eating 3 thunder pattern fruits, it burped a little, called a few times with great satisfaction, and rubbed towards Chen Qingyun. Chen Qingyun held up Mo Ling with his hands. Several people looked at him carefully. They saw that Mo Ling looked sleepy after eating. His eyes blinked and he seemed to be about to fall asleep. It needs to be digested. After swallowing 3 thunder pattern fruits this time, its strength is expected to increase a lot. The little guy is blessed. Chen Xianming said with a smile. 3 thunder pattern fruits, at least 900 spirit stones are consumed. Mo Ling's strength may be able to try to impact the foundation building period. While several people were talking, Mo Ling called lazily a few times, and then lay on the palm of his hand and began to sleep. Seeing this, Chen Qingyun took Mo Ling back into the spirit beast bag. I really hope that it will be like what the patriarch said, that after Mo Ling digests the thunder pattern fruit, his strength can be improved. Let's wait and see. Mo Ling swallowing the thunder pattern fruit is just a small episode. Next, Chen Qingyun followed the old patriarch to collect resources on the island and clean up the Zhao family's buildings, and wanted to bring this place under the jurisdiction of the Chen family. There is also a 2nd level top grade spiritual vein here, which is worth more than 100,000 spiritual stones. This is a strategic resource with a wide range of uses. It can be said to be the biggest spoils of war. This battle has brought a lot of gains to the Chen family. It can be said to be a big harvest. On that day, Chen Xianmin left Chen Qingyun to guard this place to prevent other family forces from coveting and seizing the spiritual vein resources here. He himself drove the flying boat, loaded the storage bags onto the flying boat, and flew back to Lingjian Island with several clansmen. When he returned to Lingjian Island, he immediately sent Chen Dalin to Yuanzhou Island to pick and transplant many spiritual medicines in the medicine garden. That afternoon, the demise of the Zhao family excited the Chen family. Chen Qingyun and others applauded and wanted to eradicate the Zhao family for a long time. The family has given birth to many foundation-building monks. Not only has the family's strength increased dramatically, but it has also eradicated powerful enemies that had been competing for many years. This is a gratifying thing. In a carefree and happy atmosphere, it wasn't until the next day that everyone had time to take inventory and digest the Zhao family's heritage. Zhao Hunyuan, who was far away in Hefang City, was successfully eliminated by Chen Daoran and Chen Qingyun, and the two returned to their families to report the news. Chen Qingyun and Chen Daoran were called back to their families, gathered in the meeting hall, and began to count the huge gains from the annihilation of the Zhao family. It took 50 storage bags to fill up the loot collected from the Zhao family's treasury. The storage area of each storage bag was about 10 cubic meters. So the harvest was huge. Those spiritual sand whites, elixirs, etc. have all been moved to Lingjian Island. They will be taken care of one by one, and the medicinal gardens will be opened and planted. It will take time to digest them. What they want to count this time is mainly the 3 cultivation resources of magic weapons, elixirs, and spiritual stones, and they need to be divided among the clan members. The Zhao family has been wiped out in this battle, and the big rock that was entrenched above our heads has finally been cleared away. For us, it is really satisfying. Chen Daohai smiled, and the gloom in his heart was finally cleared away. Ha 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 ha, feel relieved. The Zhao family should have been eradicated long ago. When we were in Denhai Pavilion, Zhao Yuan and the others were in need of treatment. They looked so sinister and angry that I was so angry that I gritted my teeth. Chen Qingyun smiled cheerfully. In addition to the gains gained by Yishidao and his team, the victory of this battle is also indispensable for your efforts. Chen Xianmin looked at the piles of magic weapons in front of him with a spring breeze on his face and said, "Let's divide the magical weapons first. There are many magical weapons captured this time, which can greatly enrich our strength." Chen Xianmin opened 3 storage bags, and a large number of magical artifacts flowed out and piled on the ground, making everyone's eyes brighten. After careful counting, there were a total of 425 magical artifacts, all of which were accumulated by the Zhao family over the past 200 years. Among them, there are 418 first-level instruments and 5 second-level instruments. It is worth mentioning that there are 2 magic weapons. The Zhao family still has such treasures as the magic weapons used by the monks of the Z Mansion. Chen Qingyun exclaimed and couldn't help but stepped forward to check the 2 magic weapons. Chapter 179 Moon Sun Orb, Purple Light Cover. The levels of magic weapons are divided from first level to second level and then to magic weapons. Further up, there is the natal magic weapon used by Jinden monks. The 2 magic weapons in front of me are a flying sword and a treasure ruler, both of which have reached the level of low-grade magic weapons. In terms of value, it has exceeded 50,000 spirit stones. The Zhao family has magic weapons, but there are no monks from the Zaifu. This magic weapon will only gather dust in their hands. Now it is in our hands. I believe that soon, they will be able to shine and display their respective powers. Chen Qingyun looked at the 2 magic weapons. It was the first time he saw a magic weapon of this level, and he was full of curiosity. So, this is the magic weapon. Not only Chen Qingyun, but Chen Daoran and others also stepped forward to take a look. For a time, the magic weapon was surrounded by people, discussing the value of the magic weapon and what kind of cultivation is required to wield it. In the future, who will obtain these 2 magic weapons? Ahem. Chen Xianming looked at it with a smile for a while, seeing the enthusiasm in everyone's eyes and yearning for the magic weapon. He pretended to cough twice. Although this magic weapon is good, it requires at least Zaifu level of cultivation before it can be wielded. Why not? Let's make a rule now. Oh, what's the rule? Chen Daoran asked. Chen Xianmin straightened his expression and said loudly, "How about this? In the future, whichever clan member reaches the Zaifu stage first will each receive a magic weapon. This can also be considered as an incentive to practice. The first Zaifu monk will be born in the family earlier." As soon as these words came out, everyone looked at each other. It's a good idea. I guess there's one of Qingyun's items here. Chen Daoran chuckled and looked at Chen Qingyun. Ha ha ha, when Qingyun reaches the Xifu stage in the future, he may be able to obtain better magic weapons. His chances have always been very good. Chen Qingyun answered. That's right, that's right. Chen Daohai nodded repeatedly. Everyone present knew that Chen Qingyun had many magic weapons. If this person really reaches the Xifu stage, he may not need to rely on the family to provide magic weapons, and he may have his own way to obtain them. Qingyun, come on, I hope that one day you will be promoted to the Xifu stage. Chen Qingyun smiled and said, he was very optimistic about Chen Qingyun's talent. He was once a clan brother in the middle stage of qi refining, but now he has made rapid progress and has reached the middle stage of foundation building, almost as good as the clan leader. Listening to the discussions of the elders and their expectations for himself, Chen Qingyun smiled and was indeed somewhat interested in these two magic weapons. In such a pleasant atmosphere, everyone gradually looked away from the magic weapon and paid attention to other first-level and second-level magic weapons. These are the most practical ones at present. With so many magic weapons, everyone was dazzled. Chen Xianming thought for a moment and decided to let all the qi refining monks in the family choose a first-class magic weapon to increase their combat power. As soon as this proposal came out, many people looked happy and stepped forward to choose one after another. They all got their favorite magic weapon and couldn't put it down, stroking it. When the second-level magic weapon was divided, Chen Xianming's eyes fell on Chen Qingyun, Chen Daohai, and Chen Dailin. I also have Zhuxiantu's storage bag here, there must be good things in it. The old patriarch said with a smile. There are quite a lot of resources in Zhuxiantu's storage bag, including more than 40,000 spirit stones and 12 magical weapons, 6 of which are second-level magical weapons. There are many other elixirs, talismans, and techniques, which are comparable to the wealth of the early cultivators of Xifu, which brought Chen Xianming a big surprise. Qingyun, your foundation building essence is extremely strong and your strength is probably on par with mine. The family needs to train you more. Chen Xianming selected 2 magic weapons and handed them to Chen Qingyun. You have given a lot of help to the family, so these 2 magical weapons will be given to you. They will also make you more powerful and stronger. There are 2 magic weapons, one of which is a second-grade high-grade Yueyang orb. It is not offensive and can release light to restrain all kinds of fog, poisonous miasma and illusions. The other piece is called the purple light mask, a second-level top-grade magic weapon that can quickly deploy a purple light shield to protect oneself after injecting mana. The magical weapon that also protects himself will greatly enhance Chen Qingyun's ability to respond to crises. Clan leader, this is too precious. Looking at the magic weapon in front of him, Chen Qingyun felt a worm in his heart. How could he have imagined that the clan leader would give these 2 magic weapons to him? These 2 magic weapons, converted into spiritual stones, amount to at least 24,000 spiritual stones. Second-level magic weapons are not cheap. Before the expedition to the Zhao family, the family had already given him the Zhuxiantu flying knife, and now he was given a magic weapon as a gift. Haha, why are you so polite? Qingyun, you have given more than 10 magic weapons to the family monks before, and they are all first-class magic weapons. Now that you have reached the middle stage of foundation building, your family has the ability to give you a second-level magic weapon, so feel free to accept it and don't dislike it. After Chen Xianming finished speaking, the eyes of Chen Daoran and others also fell on Chen Qingyun. Second-level magic weapon. If I reach the foundation building stage, I want it too. Chen Qingyun joked and said with a smile, just keep what the clan leader gave you. If I want it, the clan leader won't give it to me right now. When Chen Qingyun heard this, he did not refuse. He smiled slightly and said, thank you, clan leader, these 2 magic weapons are indeed useful to me. Chen Qingyun put the magic weapon into the storage bag to make up for the lack of coverage of the magic weapon. The remaining 5 second-level magic weapons are treasure mirror, spirit bottle, small tripod, flying sword and gourd. Dehai, Dalen, you can each choose one. Chen Xianming smiled slightly and asked Chen Dehai and Chen Dalen to choose their favorite magic weapons. The best way to equip more of the harvest this time to the family cultivators is to equip them. When Chen Dehai and Chen Dalen heard this, their eyes lit up. They didn't expect that they would have their own second-level magic weapons. They smiled and stepped forward to choose. There was no need to be polite. Chen Dehai chose the Qingguang mirror. Chen Dalen chose the Qingguang. These two are both second-level top-grade magic weapons. The remaining three will be stored in the clan library. In the future, they will be equipped for the family's future foundation building cultivators. Some second-level magic weapon resources should be left. After completing the division of magic weapons, Chen Qingyun watched the clan leader put away hundreds of magic weapons. The light in his eyes surged. He was quite interested in those magic weapons and might be able to purchase some. Let's talk to the clan leader later. The next step is the division of elixirs, talismans and spirit stones. The reserves of elixirs are the largest, with more than 300 bottles. The reason why more than half of the Zhao family cultivators are in the late stage of qi refining is that they rely on taking pills. Chen Dalen spent a moment to carefully sort out so many pills, and his face was already full of excitement. There are many qi refining pills and purple qi pills among the pills. The value of these two pills is needless to say. In addition, there are 16 second-level pills, two of which attracted Chen Dalen's special attention. Chapter 180 Qingyang Pill, White Flame Wine. Among these second-level elixirs, there are two kinds of elixirs that Chen Dalen focuses on. One is Qingyang Pill, which can be used by cultivators in the late stage of foundation building to increase their cultivation and have the opportunity to break through to the peak of foundation building. The appearance of this pill is of great use to Chen Xianming now. The other one, called Yangling Pill, is used to cultivate spirit beasts and increase the cultivation of second-level spirit beasts. After taking out these two types of elixirs, Chen Dalen looked at Chen Xianming and Chen Qingyun in turn. That Dao Cheng is also strange. He kept Qingyang pill but didn't use it. Now he helped us. This Qingyang pill came at the right time. It is a precious pill tailor-made for you, the clan leader. It can help you break through to the peak of foundation building. Chen Dalen said, handing Qingyang pill to Chen Xianming. Ever since he saw the old clan leader take action and kill Zhao Cheng forcefully, he has become more respectful to the clan leader. Qingyang pill. Looking at the light blue pill in his hand, Chen Xianming's eyes flashed. He understood the Qingyang pill and knew what it meant, so he looked up at Chen Dalen and asked, "Dalen, you are an alchemist, are you sure there is no problem with this pill? Since it is the Qingyang pill, why didn't Zhao Cheng take it, but put it in the clan treasury instead? Is there something wrong with this pill?" "Don't worry, I have carefully checked the pill, the quality is very good. There is indeed no problem." Chen Dalen said seriously, "I still have some eyesight, just take it." "Well, this pill is useful to me." Chen Xianming nodded, and accepted the Qingyang pill without hesitation. In the next few days, he can try to reach the peak of foundation building, which will probably take more than 10 days. After distributing the Qingyang pill, Chen Dalen looked at Chen Qingyun, showed the pill in his hand, and said, "Qingyun, this Yangling pill is useful for you, and it is very suitable for your spirit beast to take. This Yangling pill is hard to buy on the market, even Yaoang Mountain rarely produces it. As far as I know, most of the Yangling pills that can flow on the market are from the Zhu family of Qingguang Mountain. The main medicinal material for refining Yangling pills is Qinai which can only be produced by white-horned spirit cattle at present. This spirit beast is a specialty of the Zhu family, so this pill is very precious. Coincidentally, for you, it can be used to cultivate the little guy Moling." Chen Dalen picked up the Yangling pill and handed it to Chen Qingyun. Many people in the family know about Moling's existence and like this little spirit bird very much. But every time he saw it, it felt unfamiliar with everyone and only showed closeness to Chen Qingyun. It is a very clingy spirit pet. Dalen is right. At this time, Chen Xianming slowly said, "I think These nourishing spirit pills should be given to Qingyun. Moling is growing up and needs nutrition. That's what I mean. Chen Dailin said with a smile. Give all the nourishing spirit pills to Qingyun. The others nodded secretly after hearing this. They wanted to be sure, but without a spirit beast, it would be useless to take them, so it would be better to give them all to Chen Qingyun. Okay, I'll take these nourishing spirit pills. Knowing that the nourishing spirit pills are very useful to Mo Ling, Chen Qingyun looked happy and took the nourishing spirit pills to check. There were 6 bottles, totaling 62 pills. After the Qingyang pill and the nourishing spirit pill were divided, the next step was to divide the other pills. Among them, there is a spirit wine called Bayan wine, which is collected together with many pills. Seeing the spirit wine, only Chen Dailin recognized its origin. This wine is called White Flame wine, and it is also a good thing. It needs a purple mansion-level demon pill as the main raw material, and then add various secret medicinal materials. It takes 100 years to brew. This White Flame wine is white in color. After drinking it, you will feel a burning sensation, as if there is a flame swimming in the body. But as long as it is the first time to drink it, it can stimulate the foundation-building cultivator to break through the bottleneck. Chen Xianming stepped forward and took a pot of White Flame wine to check it. He found that the wine contained violent spiritual charm, so he said, "The power in this spiritual wine is too violent. It is estimated that the Qi refining cultivator cannot control it. Only the foundation-building cultivator who has experienced the compression of the true essence and finally successfully built the foundation can refine it and use it for himself." Not bad. Chen Dailin nodded. It is not difficult to see the concentration of the spiritual charm of this White Flame wine. The only thing to note is that Qi refining cultivators cannot take it excessively. At most, they can only take a small cup. Even so, it is estimated that it will take several days to refine. If you are greedy and drink too much, you may not be able to digest the violent spiritual charm in your body, which will cause the meridians to be disordered and damage your body. Knowing the interests involved, Chen Dailin looked at everyone and said solemnly, "For safety reasons, the division of this White Flame wine should be as I said." Okay. Chen Xianming was the first to respond. This is indeed something that needs attention. Seeing the clan leader nod, everyone also trusted Chen Dailin and naturally had no objection. With the consent of the clan members, Chen Dailin nodded slightly and said, "There are a total of 4 pots of White Flame wine, which is not a large number. Each of the family's Qi refining cultivators will get 1 cup, which will probably leave 2 pots. These 2 pots will be divided among the clan leader, Qingyun, and Douhai." When he heard that he also had a share, Chen Douhai shook his head repeatedly. "I can't increase my cultivation even if I take it, so I won't take this White Flame wine. In addition to improving cultivation, it can also clear the mind and eyes and nourish the body, so I'll give you a cup too." Chen Dailin said helplessly. Knowing the side effects of Chen Douhai's foundation building, he had to give him a cup to try. Okay. Chen Douhai smiled and reminded him, "You should also give yourself some, don't forget yourself." "Ha ha ha, I really want some too." Chen Dailin laughed and took some condensed jade bottles, about the size of wine glasses, and began to divide the White Flame wine. Chen Douhai and a group of Qi refining cultivators, each had a cup. Chen Qingyun, Chen Xianming, and even himself, the 3 of them divided 2 pots of White Flame wine. After the spiritual wine was divided, the next thing was the Qi refining pills. 12 bottles of Qi refining pills were distributed to the families Nian and Qing generations of the early Qi refining cultivators. The rest of the detoxification pills, long spirit pills, and essence refining pills were all distributed to the family cultivators. These are the divisions of pills. Then, to the spirit stones. The spiritual stones confiscated from the Zhao family treasury, plus those in Zhao Cheng's storage bag, were carefully counted by everyone, totaling 17,362 pieces. Chen Xianming waved his hand and began to distribute the money. Everyone present came forward to receive 3,000 spiritual stones, and the rest were stored in the family treasury for backup. As for the talismans, In addition to the 2 pieces each person received, there were more than 50 pieces left. These talismans were mainly given to Chen Nianwei and Chen Nianlong. These 2 girls started learning the way of talismans a year ago, and now they need a large number of talismans to comprehend, learn, and copy. I believe that within half a year, the family will be able to give birth to the first talisman maker. Finally, it is about the practice. As a foundation-building immortal family, the Zhao family has inherited 235 Qi refining period practices and 3 foundation-building practices. Chapter 181 Family Mission, Spirit Testing Conference. The foundation-building techniques are, in order, Thick Earth Technique, Starfire Burning Sea Technique, and Greenwood Evergreen Technique. It can be said that, except for the 2 attributes of gold and water, it includes the foundation-building techniques of the 5 elements. Among them, Greenwood Evergreen Technique can satisfy the cultivation of cultivators with both earth and wood spiritual root attributes. Although these 3 techniques are not as good as the Chen family's Fiery Sky Sword Technique and Fiery Shining Gold Technique, the Chen family does not have an earth attribute foundation-building technique. As for the water attribute technique, the Chen family does have Blue Sea Cloud Water Technique. Now, because of the appearance of Greenwood Evergreen Technique, it can be regarded as making up for the Chen family's shortcomings in the 5 elements. The future earth attribute cultivators of the family will have a much smoother practice, as there is a foundation-building technique to practice. Qingyun, after you broke through the foundation-building period, have you practiced other techniques? Seeing these foundation-building techniques, Chen Xianming asked. Your spiritual roots are fire, gold, and wood. Practicing the family's fiery gold art is enough to allow you to practice to the peak of the foundation-building period. So, during the foundation-building period, as for the main practice, you should continue to practice the fiery gold art, and you don't need to practice other attributes of the practice. Generally speaking, a foundation-building cultivator will only practice one main practice, which not only saves time and effort, but also better fits the spiritual root practice. After reaching the Purple Mansion period, you have more time and can practice more practices. The Chen family's fiery gold art belongs to the dual attributes of fire and gold, which can satisfy the practice of cultivators with these 2 spiritual root attributes. For Chen Qingyun, before the Purple Mansion period, there is no need to worry about the main practice. This is also the advantage of the cultivation family. There is no need to worry about the practice. Many casual cultivators envy the family cultivators for this reason. I have practiced the fiery gold art to the 5th level. During the foundation building period, I can practice this main practice. Chen Qingyun smiled slightly and thought about his own practice and practice. The 3 techniques of fiery gold art, Great Sun Visualization Sutra and Heavenly Void Refining Art are practiced every day. In addition, the practice of Thousand Star Sword Art has been put on the agenda. At the same time, 4 techniques are practiced, and the weapon refining technique needs to be learned. Every day is both fulfilling and busy. There is not much thought to add 1 or 2 more techniques to practice. You have a good talent. After you are promoted to the Purple Mansion stage, you can practice a few more techniques. Chen Xianming smiled lightly and decided not to select techniques for Chen Qingyun to practice. When mentioning this topic, Chen Qingyun thought about it and mentioned the soul-related techniques. By the way, I have a Great Sun Visualization Sutra here, which can temper the soul and improve the mind, which is very beneficial to practice. Chen Qingyun introduced this technique. He obtained 3 second-level magic tools from the family in succession, with a total value of about 30,000 spirit stones, and he really wanted to give something back to the family. In terms of magic tools, the family did not lack first-level magic tools after the Zhao family was wiped out. There are not many second-level magic tools in the family, so there is no need to acquire too many for the time being. It is more important to master a magic tool first. Soul-related skills. After listening to the introduction, Chen Xianming pondered for a while and said seriously, "In the practice of the soul, the family does have shortcomings, and has not paid attention to the guidance and practice in this area." Okay, I will make a few copies of this Great Sun Visualization Sutra. It will be of great benefit to the family. You reminded me very well this time. After discovering the shortcomings of the family, the old patriarch was not polite and immediately copied 3 copies of the Great Sun Visualization Sutra, leaving one for himself to practice. The other 2 copies were stored in the family library. If the family members want to practice, they can take the copy. At the same time, Chen Qingyun and Chen Daoran, who were present, were also interested in this Great Sun Visualization Sutra. They only knew today that soul-related practice is equally important. Before this, there was indeed no soul-related skills in the family. After the meeting, I asked the clan leader to make a copy of the Great Sun Contemplation Sutra for practice. The division of the spoils lasted for an afternoon. 60% of the Zhao family's clan library resources were ancient books of martial arts, refining materials and medicinal materials, most of which were stored in the clan library. Whatever the clan members needed, they all asked for it and took the initiative to get some. At the end, everyone dispersed. At this time, Chen Xianmin stopped Chen Qingyun. Qingyun, Zhenhai Island, you take Qingyun's resource rewards back today, and then come back. In the next few days, there is something for you to do. Oh? Chen Qingyun's expression moved. He also had something to discuss with the clan leader. Chen Xianmin walked closer, took the lead in bringing up the important matter, and smiled faintly. In 2 days, it will be the family's 5-year spiritual root test. As an elder, you should participate. It just so happens that Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun also have a share of the resource division this time. Please help me take it over and give it to them. Like Qingyun, although they have been stationed outside the family for many years and rarely return to the family, they are the roots of the family and have made a lot of efforts to protect the family's mortal bloodline. The family cannot forget its roots, and the resources that should be given should also be given to them. According to the practice of the Chen family. Every 5 years. The family will send monks to the towns where the Chen family's mortals live to test the spiritual root qualifications of children aged 5 to 15. At the beginning, when Chen Qingyun was 5 years old, he was tested for 3 spiritual root qualifications in this way. Then he followed the family to the Spirit Sword Island to practice. Counting the days, this time the spiritual root test is indeed in the next few days. If the spiritual root seedlings are discovered, they need to be brought back to the family for cultivation as soon as possible, which is why the clan leader sent Chen Qingyun to go. Knowing the importance of this matter, it is a critical period to discover the family's cultivation seedlings. Chen Qingyun did not refuse and nodded. Okay. After agreeing to this matter, Chen Xianmin briefly talked about some matters of the spiritual test conference and carefully instructed them one by one. After knowing what was going on, Chen Qingyun found the right opportunity and put forward his own ideas. Clan leader, I want to exchange some magic tools. He has 630 points reserved in the family's merit points, so why not use them to exchange for a few magic tools. You can also spend more spirit stones to buy some. After proposing this idea, Chen Xianmin immediately agreed. The magic tools are given to you at the lowest market price. You can pick the types of magic tools you need. For the extra parts, you can use spirit stones to make up the difference. Okay. After careful selection, Chen Qingyun took out 870 spirit stones, including merit points, and exchanged for a total of 31st level low-grade magic tools. The family sold these magic tools at the lowest price of 50 spirit stones each. Chen Xianmin did not ask what Chen Qingyun did with these low-level magic tools. Qingyun, you will go back to Zhenhai Island today, and you will set off in 2 days to perform the task of spiritual root detection for the family. The family affairs are busy during this period. After I deal with these things, I will go into seclusion to refine Qingyang pills. If you have anything, just come to me. Chen Xianmin explained and took out 3 storage bags that had been prepared long ago. Chapter 182 Linxi County. 2 of the storage bags contained 3,000 spirit stones, some elixirs, white flame wine, and a first-grade superb magic weapon. The third storage bag contained the same basic resources as the previous two. In addition, there were dozens of more refining materials. This storage bag is for Qingyun. I selected some refining materials for her to learn refining. Refining requires a lot of materials. It's not easy to learn. I hope she can break through to the second-grade refiner as soon as possible. As he spoke, Chen Xianming took out another storage bag and handed it to Chen Qingyun. Similarly, I also prepared some refining materials for you to use. The family only needs to keep some of these. The main thing is to meet the refining needs of you and Qingyun. As for Daoran, you don't have to worry, it will be much easier for him to obtain resources in the family. The old patriarch clearly divided the 4 storage bags, and at the same time did not forget to meet the refining needs of himself and his 5th sister. Chen Qingyun felt warm in his heart and felt that it was worth traveling to the Chen family. Okay. He remembered the kindness of the family, nodded heavily, and put away the 4 storage bags. At the old patriarch's instructions, Chen Qingyun returned to Zhenhai Island at noon that day. Seeing Chen Qingyun coming back, Chen Qingyun smiled. She asked what he was busy with recently and why he had been back for several days. The 2 siblings sat down and chatted while drinking tea. When they learned that Chen Dailin had also successfully built his foundation. Then the war between the Chen and Zhao clans broke out, and the family successfully wiped out the Zhao family. Chen Qingyun was delighted and marveled at the family's growing strength and richness. At the same time, taking the storage bag from Chen Qingyun, looking at the immortal cultivation resources, refining materials, etc. inside, she felt extremely warm and comfortable in her heart. You have all made a lot of progress. I have to work harder. After a moment of silence, Chen Qingyun's beautiful eyes flashed with strange colors, and the idea of becoming stronger became stronger. After staying in Zhenhai Island for 2 days, on the morning of the 3rd day, Chen Qingyun returned to Lingjian Island to report. Then, under the guidance of Chen Xianming, he headed alone towards the east of Lingjian Island, in the direction of Linxai Island. Linxai Island is more than 2,000 miles away from Lingjian Island. On the island, there is a mortal town closest to the Chen family, called Linxai County. Due to the limited size of Lingjian Island, more than 16,000 mortals of the Chen family live in Linxai County. Because of the protection of the Chen family, the mortals of the Chen family live a rich life in the secular world. Chen Qingyun was born in Linxai County. When he was 3 years old, Linxai County was attacked by a tide of monsters. The entire county was in turmoil, and more than 500 mortals of the Chen family were killed or injured. This became the largest number of casualties since the founding of the Chen family. At that time, the Chen family sent out all their elites and it took several months to quell the monster tide. Later, in order to protect the mortals on the island, they spent a lot of money to arrange a spirit gathering formation and a second level 4 elephant white tiger formation to protect the island. And sent 2 family monks to garrison from time to time. With the protection of the formation and the cultivators, the safety of the mortals in Linxai County is greatly guaranteed. They will no longer easily become the food of monsters and attract the covetousness of demons and evil cultivators. More than 10,000 mortals of the Chen family who settled here can live a stable life and reproduce. Now more than 10 years have passed. Not only the Chen family, but also the Zhang family of Chu Island has migrated a group of mortals to Linxai Island to reproduce. Is it Qingyun? You are finally here. As soon as they arrived at Linxai Island, 2 family cultivators were waiting at the dock. Seeing Chen Qingyun coming, one of them came forward to greet him. The family sent a message that an elder will be sent this time. I didn't expect it to be you. We haven't seen each other for many years. The speaker was Chen Qingyun, the 11th uncle of Chen Qingyun, who was in the 5th level of Qi refining. He and Chen Qingyun beside him were responsible for guarding Linxai Island. On the island, in addition to the 2 of them, there were 2 cultivators from the Zhang family. The 4 of them often came and went to protect this pure land together. Hello, Uncle 8 and Uncle 11. Chen Qingyun smiled slightly, docked the panlong at the dock, and stepped forward to greet them. It's time for the family's spiritual root test. Once every 5 years, the clan leader asked me to come here to test the spiritual roots of the family children. I'm grateful for the care of Uncle 8 and Uncle 11 these days. Ha ha ha, you are now an elder of the family, and your cultivation has reached the foundation building stage. I feel embarrassed to be so polite to us. Chen Qingyun hurriedly returned the greeting and smiled embarrassedly. Hello, 6th elder. Chen Qingyun also smiled bitterly and greeted him. There's no need to be so polite between us. Chen Qingyun smiled and looked at the two uncles. He didn't have a deep impression of them, and even felt a little unfamiliar. At this time, he recalled the strange feeling that Chen Qingyun showed when he saw them at that time, and couldn't help but empathize with them. Hey, this is also the right thing to do to follow the family etiquette. Chen Qingyun laughed, looking at Chen Qingyun with admiration, and couldn't help but sigh. Time flies so fast. More than 10 years ago, we found you from a group of children, detected that you have spiritual roots, and sent you to Lingjian Island for cultivation. Now, more than 10 years have passed, and you have grown into a family elder, and your cultivation has reached a height that neither of us can reach. It's really formidable to be young. Talking about the past, Chen Qingyun only felt that time was passing quickly. I met Chen Qingyun again today. He has grown up and become a family backbone, helping the family develop. Time, it really will witness a lot of things. After hearing what Chen Qingyun said, Chen Qingyun recalled his memories. He had a vague memory of that time and could not remember it for a long time. But the fact is indeed as Chen Qingyun said, he has been away from home for more than 10 years. Although he would occasionally come back to visit. But since he embarked on the road of cultivating immortals, he has felt more and more that immortals and mortals are different. The way his parents looked at him, there was less care and love for their children, and more awe. Hey, why are you still reminiscing with Qingyun? You sound like you are of the same generation as him. Let's take Qingyun to sit down. He must be tired from the continuous journey. I heard from the clan leader that the Zhao family has been eradicated by us. Such a gratifying thing. You just tell us the details. I can't wait to hear it. Chen Qingyun smiled and took the initiative to lead the way. The three of them went into the city lord's mansion to rest. While drinking tea and chatting, they talked about the elimination of the Zhao family. The two uncles were very happy to hear it. After talking for an instant of time, Chen Qingyun remembered something important, took out 2 storage bags, and handed them to the two uncles. Thank you, nephew. Holding the storage bag, Chen Qingyun looked happy. When the clan leader sent a message to them 2 days ago, he informed them of the family reward. This time, Chen Qingyun brought it along and gave it to them. They already knew what was in it. Ha ha ha, there are still 3,000 spirit stones. Your 11th uncle. I am finally not a poor cultivator. Chen Qingyun's face was full of smiles. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 183 Home. After receiving such generous benefits, both Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun smiled from ear to ear. I have already begun to think about how to use these spiritual stones. The three of them had a pleasant atmosphere and continued chatting. As the old saying goes. Regarding whether Chen Qingyun had a Taoist companion, Chen Qingyun asked with a smile. It was also out of concern, which made Chen Qingyun smile bitterly and said that he was not in a hurry. After such a conversation, the relationship between the three of them became a lot more familiar, and Chen Qingyun became more relaxed. In your age, this is the first time we have talked so much with you. The spiritual testing platform is ready. Let's start the spiritual root testing tomorrow so that you can return to your family as soon as possible. Chen Qingyun said with a smile, knowing that in addition to practicing, Chen Qingyun also practiced weapon refining, so his time must be busy, and he did not want to delay Chen Qingyun's practice. Okay, just follow what Uncle 11 said. Chen Qingyun nodded in response. The spirit detection platform is the fastest and most accurate way to detect spiritual roots. It requires a monk who has come to the late stage of qi refining to cast spells to activate it, so as to achieve the effect of detecting spiritual roots. Chen Qingyun and Chen Qingyun are both at the 5th level of qi refining. In terms of qualifications, Qingyun has 3 spiritual roots and Qingguang has 4 spiritual roots. They are currently unable to control the operation of the spirit measuring platform. This is one of the reasons why Chen Xianmin sent Chen Qingyun here. Then, I'll come find you again tomorrow morning. Chen Qingyun nodded, immediately glanced at Chen Qingyun, and said hesitantly, I came here for a visit. Do you want to go home and have a look? Your home is still in the original place. No changes. The home mentioned by Uncle 11 refers to the home of Chen Qingyun's parents. Although he was reborn through time travel and became an heir of the Chen family. But in Chen Qingyun's heart, whether it is his parents or his family, he has a feeling of blood relatives. This feeling is innate and extremely real. On the first day Chen Qingyun traveled here, family affection was engraved in his bones and blood. This was also the fundamental reason why he was able to quickly integrate into the Chen clan without rejection. He would not feel that his family ties had faded just because he came from Blue Star. I'll go back and take a look. Chen Qingyun responded and chatted with the 2 uncles for a few more words. It was already evening. Looking at the sunset over the sea, which colored half of the world, Chen Qingyun pursued his memory and came to the south of the county alone, stopping in front of a house. The ordinary door and unremarkable house layout are no different from the surrounding houses. This is where Chen Qingyun was born. His parents made a living by farming and fishing. They were diligent and down-to-earth people. At this time, the gate of the courtyard was open, and the sound of children playing could be heard from inside. It was Chen Qingyun's 2 younger sisters. Chen Wan and Chen Xiahua. Chen Qingyun took a deep breath. This was the first time he came to meet his parents and sister after traveling to this world. It was almost as expected. In front of my parents, I was a little restrained at first and couldn't let go of the topic. Brother, eat some candy. This is delicious. Chen Xiahua, who was only 5 years old, held a candy figure in her hand and handed it to Chen Qingyun with a smile, sharing her favorite snack. Chen Wan, who was 7 years older, sat quietly aside, adding some tea and fruitcakes from time to time. Chen Qingyun's parents, Li Xiang and Chen Ping, looked at Chen Qingyun with smiles and asked about how well they lived in the family and whether they were used to eating. Now that I have become a family elder, I have more responsibilities on my shoulders. Qingyun, you have been sensible since you were a child. Now that you are the elder of the family, don't be proud and complacent. I heard from your uncle Chenggu that you have reached some foundation building stage in your cultivation of immortality. He said that you are very powerful. I don't understand this. I just hope that you can be safe and live a comfortable life. Chen Ping has some white hair on his temples and head. After talking to Chen Qingyun, he couldn't help but feel nagging. Chen Qingyun listened attentively, and took the initiative to talk about the purpose of his visit, and asked about the physical condition of the 2 elders so that they would be less tired. The family was laughing and eating dinner, and the flickering bright yellow candles in the house gave the house a sense of warmth. After he was full of wine and food, Chen Qingyun took out some elixirs, an order of beauty pills and longevity pills, which can help ordinary people maintain their appearance and prolong their lives. Seeing these bottles of elixirs, Li Xiang and Chen Ping looked at each other. They felt warm in their hearts but did not accept them, mistakenly thinking that they were very valuable. It wasn't until Chen Qingyun explained a few words and confirmed that it was just an ordinary pill for immortal cultivators that he happily accepted it. After experiencing the life of a mortal, after dinner, Chen Qingyun took the initiative to help clean up and wash the dishes. Chen Wan's and Chen's mother packed up a house together and let Chen Qingyun stay there for the past 2 days. In the yard, Chen Xiahua was carrying some leftovers and feeding a little yellow dog while muttering, "Little puppy, you can grow up quickly if you eat more, and you will become as powerful as brother Qingyun in the future." After staying at home for one night, Chen Qingyun came to the square of the spirit testing conference early the next morning and was really surprised when he saw the dense crowd in front of him. So many people. Chen Qingyun was well aware of the number of children on the island and smiled lightly. It is expected that more than 3,200 children will participate in this spirit testing conference, which is about 500 more than in previous years. Yes, since the patriarch encouraged childbirth 8 years ago, the number of mortals in the family has gradually increased. Chen Qingyun continued, "That's good. With more newborns, there's a greater chance of immortal seedlings." Chen Qingyun listened and nodded slowly. Looking at the crowd, you can see that the youngest is 5 years old and the oldest is 15 years old. In order to prevent any omissions, the Chen family will conduct the first spiritual root test for each child at the age of 5. At the age of 10, there will be a second test. At the age of 15, there will be a third spiritual root test. If no spiritual roots are found in the 3 tests, then it is indeed not qualified for spiritual roots. This is also the way many immortal cultivation families test spiritual roots, trying their best to discover the immortal cultivation seedlings in the family. Qingyun, you've worked hard these 2 days. If you can discover 1 or 2 immortal seedlings this time, it will be worth the effort. Chen Qingyun said, waiting for the children on the island to come and sign up. The spiritual root test is a top-notch event for the mortals of the Chen family. A month ago, when they learned that the spirit testing conference was about to begin, every family with children was looking forward to this day. Compared with the trivialities of life and family affairs, nothing is more important than the future of children, so there is a bustling sea of people in front of us. Fortunately, the square is large enough to gather another 5,000 people. When the time for the spirit testing conference came, Chen Qingyun, at the invitation of Chen Qingyun, used his magic power to activate the spirit testing array on the stage. After the spirit testing array is activated, it can continue to operate for an hour, and only some magic power needs to be replenished as energy during this period. Sitting between the 2 uncles, under the command of Chen Qingyun, the spirit testing began. Chapter 184 Xiahua and number 039 Spiritual root qualifications. No spiritual root. Next one. The measurement meeting started and lasted for an hour, but no spiritual root seedling appeared. Chen Qingyun gradually became numb from the initial expectation. We have only tested more than 100 people, so don't be discouraged too early. Noticing Chen Qingyun's expression, Chen Qingyun laughed and said, "The last spiritual measurement meeting was assisted by your grandfather Daoran. We were lucky that time and a fairy seedling appeared. We may be luckier this time. Let's wait and see." They have long been accustomed to this situation. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is 1 in 1,000 for a spiritual root fairy seedling to be born among mortals. If fairy seedlings are so easy to be born, the Chen family will not have cultivated only a dozen cultivators until now. Hearing this, Chen Qingyun knew that his expectations were too high, so he adjusted his mentality and continued to test. The next person who came to them and entered the spiritual measurement array was a 6-year-old boy. After more than 200 tests, no spiritual roots were found, which made Chen Qingyun and the other 2 frown from time to time, and the little boy was a little scared. "Don't be nervous." Chen Qingyun forced a smile and guided the little boy into the spirit test array. After a while, the spirit test array showed gold and green lights, which immediately attracted the attention of the 3 people. Huh? Chen Qingyun, who was absent-minded, had a bright look. Gold and wood dual spiritual roots. I didn't expect that the first fairy seedling who appeared was actually a dual spiritual root qualification. In the spiritual root classification in the world of immortal cultivation, the worst is 5 spiritual roots, followed by 4 spiritual roots, and so on. The best single spiritual root is also called the heavenly spiritual root. In addition, the spiritual root attributes other than the 5 attributes of gold, wood, water, fire and earth are called different spiritual roots, such as ice, thunder, wind, darkness, light, etc. Different spiritual roots also determine the talent level according to the number of attributes. The fewer the better. For example, The minimum standard for Xingzong to recruit external disciples is double spiritual roots. The requirements of the 4 major sects in Wuyi and Chonglu Mountain and Weishan are lower, and 3 spiritual roots are enough. As for the Immortal Cultivation family, they are not picky. Even if there are 5 spiritual roots, they will cultivate and practice, and it is better to have one more immortal cultivator. Dual spiritual root qualifications. The last one in the family with such excellent talent was Chen Qingyun, and that was more than 20 years ago. I didn't expect that another one would be born like this, ha ha ha, great. Chen Qingyun stood up excitedly and called the little boy to come in front of him. Chen Qingyun smiled and asked, "Child, what's your name?" The little boy didn't dare to neglect it, and plucked up the courage to step forward and said, My name is Chen Zhuxiantu. Okay, Zhuxiantu, stand next to me. Chen Zhuxiantu didn't understand how good it was to have 2 spiritual roots, but he only knew that having spiritual roots was a good thing, so he walked over obediently and stood next to Chen Qingyun. In the audience, many children and parents showed envy, knowing that the gears of Chen Zhuxiantu's fate began to turn. After discovering the first fairy seedling, Chen Qingyun regained his expectations for the next test. After testing more than 300 people in succession, no second fairy seedling appeared. Chen Qingyun and the other 2 were not in a hurry, they tested one by one slowly to avoid any omissions. On the second day, when the 68th child was tested, a familiar figure walked onto the stage. "Hey, Xiahua." Seeing Chen Xiahua on the stage, Chen Qingyun glanced at Chen Qingyun. Seeing his own sister come to test her spiritual roots, Chen Qingyun smiled and guided Chen Xiahua to start the test. A blue light appeared in the spirit testing array and continued to shine, firmly attracting Chen Qingyun's attention. Chen Qingyun, who had originally looked indifferent, widened his eyes, stood up suddenly, and couldn't help but exclaimed, "Heaven. Heavenly spiritual roots." Chen Qingyun couldn't keep calm, his face showed excitement, and he said in disbelief, "Oh my God, am I seeing things? It's actually a heavenly spiritual root." The 3 of them looked excited, carefully watching the reaction of the spirit test array, and they all showed a happy look after confirming that it was correct. Unexpectedly, after Chen Zhuxiantu, the little girl in front of them gave them a great surprise. Okay, Xiahua, come to brother." Chen Qingyun stood up excitedly, took Chen Xiahua's little hand, led her to the chair, and left a seat for her to sit down. Seeing Chen Qingyun's smiling face, Chen Xiahua didn't understand what the heavenly spiritual roots meant because she was still young. But brother Qingyun was so happy. It was obviously a great thing. So, she happily raised her little head and said with a smile, "Brother, I'm hungry, I want to eat candied haws." "Okay, I'll buy it for you." After Chen Xiahua, the next one to come up was the second sister Chen Wan. After the test, the spirit array did not react. Obviously there was no spirit root. However, Chen Wan did not show any unhappiness. Seeing that Xiahua had detected a spirit root, which seemed to be a very powerful spirit root, she was secretly happy and walked off the stage with her head down. Noticing the look on Sister Wan's face, Chen Qingyun sighed in his heart. This is the authenticity of the test. The probability of the birth of a spirit root is extremely small. After 5 consecutive days of testing, a total of 3,696 children participated, and a total of 2 fairy seedlings appeared, which is a good probability. It would be great if there were more fairy seedlings. After closing the spirit array, Chen Qingyun sighed. Be content. Chen Qingyun said with a smile, 2 immortal seedlings, one with dual spiritual roots and one with heavenly spiritual roots. If the clan leader knew, he would wake up laughing in his dreams. Let alone the clan leader, I am so excited now. Chen Qingyun said with a big laugh. This test far exceeded expectations. Xiahua's spiritual root qualifications are the best since the establishment of our Chen family. We must cultivate them well. Dual spiritual root qualifications, fast cultivation speed, the lowest achievement in the future can reach the purple mansion stage directly. Heavenly spiritual roots, can build their own foundation without relying on foundation-building pills. In the future, as long as resources are sufficient, they can at least reach the golden core stage. This means that the Chen family will give birth to at least 2 purple mansion cultivators in the future. How can this not be exciting? After the spiritual test conference, Chen Qingyun and the other 2 took Chen Ziyang and Chen Xiahua home to visit one by one and discuss matters such as the children's cultivation in the future. According to the clan rules, children with spiritual roots can go to Lingjian Island to live and practice. Lingjian Island has always been a place that all the mortals of the Chen family yearn for. They all hope that their children can enter the path of cultivation and benefit the family. When they heard that their children had such a chance to become immortals, the parents of both sides were so happy that they couldn't wait to refuse. Especially Chen Ping's family, they were so excited that they prepared a large table of delicious food to celebrate that night. They knew that Xiahua was going to return to Lingjian Island with Chen Qingyun to practice, and they were sincerely happy for Xiahua and felt relieved. They stayed in Linxai Island for a day. The next day, Chen Qingyun said goodbye to his 2 uncles, took Ziyang and Xiahua and set off to Lingjian Island. When they returned to the clan and saw Chen Xianming, the old patriarch was excited for a long time after talking about the test results of this spiritual test conference. Finally, he smiled happily and said 3 good words. 1 person has a natural spiritual root, and the other has a double spiritual root. If my Chen family rises faster. On that day, Chen Daoran, Chen Qingyun and others learned the news and immediately came to visit Chen Xiahua and Chen Ziyang. Chapter 185. The 3 foundation-building teams join forces. Danlingen, Qingyun, your little sister's qualifications are really great. With such good qualifications, we must cultivate them carefully. This is the future giant and monk. Yang's dual spiritual root qualifications are also pretty good, better than any of us. In the main hall, Chen Daoran and others looked around Chen Xiahua, making the 2 little kids nervous. While everyone was happy, they discussed the matter and decided to include Xiahua and Ziyang in the family tree and name them after the generation with the character King. One is named Chen Qingyang. One is named Chen Qingluan. Originally, according to their ages, they should be ranked by their seniority. But considering that Xiahua is Chen Qingyun's biological sister, she shouldn't call her uncle Chen Qingyun, right? Therefore, we simply settled in the King generation and named him King Luan. This arrangement of the family tree would not cause confusion. As for the descendants of the Qingci generation, just rank them according to the Nianzi generation. King Luan, Qingyang, from now on, you will stay on the island to practice. If there is anything you are not used to, you can come and tell me at any time. Chen Xianming looked at the 2 juniors with a smile, and the more he looked at them, the more he liked them. Chen Qingyang and Chen Qingluan looked at each other, hummed, and responded in unison, okay. Later, under the leadership of Chen Qingyun, the 2 settled down on Lingjian Island and began to adapt to their new names and the new life here. Later, they will receive immortal education to prepare for spiritual practice. Watching Chen Qingyun and the others go away, Chen Qingyun looked happy and had already decided to take more care of his sister in the future. At the same time, he thought of the Yingling fruit. Now, the family has a new immortal cultivator to cultivate, and it is the time when the infant spirit fruit is needed. This kind of spiritual fruit must be obtained no matter what. So, Chen Qingyun asked Chen Xianming, clan chief, I'm wondering if we should go and get the infant spirit fruit in advance? Counting the days, it will take 5 or 6 months before those infant spirit fruits will be mature. Chen Xianming's eyes moved slightly when he heard the Yingling fruit. Well, now Qingyang and Qingluan are about to embark on the path of cultivating immortals. With this infant spirit fruit, they can optimize their bones and enter the qi refining stage in advance. Right. Chen Qingyun nodded and continued to ask, what do you mean by the Yingling fruit tree? In fact, even if the family doesn't take action, Chen Qingyun can definitely clean up the group of black-striped apes if he goes alone. However, he didn't understand how to transplant the Yingling fruit tree properly. All heaven and earth spiritual trees are not just pulled out from the ground, dug in a hole and planted elsewhere, and then transplanted. There is a lot of knowledge involved in this. In order not to damage the Yingling fruit tree, Chen Qingyun would not transplant it rashly. I need to ask your grandpa Dolan about this first. Chen Xianmin pondered for a moment and called Chen Dalan over. When he learned that he wanted to transplant the Yingling fruit tree, Chen Dalan nodded slowly. It can be transplanted, just give it to me. As an alchemist, Chen Dalan knows many methods of planting and transplanting spiritual herbs and spiritual trees. He already knew this Yingling fruit tree like the back of his hand. When he heard that Chen Qingyun and the others were preparing to take action, he asked Ying, I will go with you. Can? The three people quickly reached an agreement. Without the hidden danger of the Zhao family, Chen Xianmin no longer has to be afraid to leave Lingjian Island, and can go wherever he wants. And according to the strength of the three of them, even without preparation, they are enough to deal with the group of black-striped apes. The only thing you need to pay attention to is that during the battle, beware of the black-striped apefish breaking the dead net and damaging the Yingling fruit tree. 2. Be on the safe side. We might as well refine the white flame wine first and increase our strength before setting off. What do you think? Before deciding to take action, Chen Xianmin decided to hold his hand first. Because they are busy these days, they have not practiced in retreat yet, so they happened to be in retreat together this time. That's what I meant. Chen Dalan was the first to respond. Chen Qingyun has no objection to this. On that day, the three of them entered the retreat room and began to increase their cultivation. In addition to refining white flame wine, Chen Xianmin also takes Qingyang pill, which has a high chance of breaking through to the peak of foundation building. He has stayed in the late stage of foundation building for more than 10 years. In the retreat room, Chen Qingyun took out the white flame wine and looked at the flawless white wine like looking at a jug of milk. He raised his head and drank in a big gulp. When the white flame wine entered my stomach, I felt a warmth in my mouth. Immediately afterwards, a violent aura spread through the body, traveling through the internal organs and meridians, bringing a burning sensation like a fiery one. In response, Chen Qingyun just frowned slightly. He went through the process of building his own foundation, suppressing his true energy and condensing his true energy. The violent foundation building energy at that time was much more dangerous than the white flame wine. He began to refine the white flame wine in his body, and the wine was converted into gentle true energy bit by bit, full of strength. This lasted for 2 days. After Chen Qingyun refined half a pot of white flame wine, the bottleneck of his cultivation level became loose. A large amount of white mist rose up from his body, and the true energy in his body shook. Later stage of foundation building. At this moment, feeling the breakthrough in strength, Chen Qingyun's face showed a look of joy. The effect of this white flame wine is actually so good, it can help him break through the bottleneck of his cultivation in 2 days. Brewed from Zaifu demonic pill, bridling wine is indeed very effective. Looking at the remaining half a pot of white flame wine, Chen Qingyun drank it all without hesitation. Until 2 more days had passed, he had firmly consolidated his cultivation in the late stage of foundation building, and then he stood up and walked out of the retreat room, and found that Chen Dalan had come out first. Middle stage of foundation building. Congratulations, Grandpa Dalan. Chen Qingyun smiled and congratulated, and found that Chen Dalan had also broken through his cultivation. The middle stage of foundation building is easier to break through than the late stage of foundation building. Ha 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 ha, you are not bad. Late stage of foundation building. This white flame wine has a significant effect. You and I have gained a lot, but I don't know how the clan leader is progressing. Chen Dalan was in high spirits. These days, his strength has advanced rapidly. From the 9th level of Qi refining to the middle stage of foundation building, it feels like a dream. But the sense of reality brought by strength makes him feel that everything is real. The two laughed and talked for a few words, waiting for the old clan leader to come out of retreat. Time flies, and this wait lasted for 10 days, and finally waited for Chen Xianmin to come out of retreat. The peak of the foundation building stage. Congratulations to the clan leader for his great progress. That's amazing. In a short while, you will be able to reach the Purple Mansion stage. Qingyun and I have to work harder to catch up with you. Chen Qingyun and Chen Dailin spoke one after another. Ha ha ha, maybe you will be promoted to the Purple Mansion stage before me. I'm old, and my energy is not as good as yours. You and Qingyun have both broken through a small realm, not bad. Chen Xianming's strength has greatly improved, and he laughed heartily, feeling more relaxed. Dailin, Qingyun, let's go, let's set off today. The three set off on the Panlong, sailing for 12 days, and arrived at the valley where the black-striped ape was. Chapter 186, Suppressing the Black-Striped Ape. The valley where the black-striped ape is. Chen Qingyun used his spiritual sense to explore and found that the infant spirit fruit tree and the black-striped ape were still in the valley, and everything was normal. It's good that they are all here. Chen Xianming had a detailed battle plan in his mind. For them, the three of them were all in the foundation building stage, so they could just launch a strong attack. Dailin, your mission is the most important. You are responsible for protecting the infant spirit fruit tree. The black-striped ape will be dealt with by Qingyun and me. Qingyun, you can go and clean up those black-striped apes in the qi refining stage. I will deal with the black-striped ape king. Okay. Chen Dailin and Chen Qingyun nodded. The three of them took action and each of them sacrificed their magic weapons and rushed into the valley. The black-striped ape is a group living monster with sensitive hearing, scattered all over the valley. The open actions of Chen Qingyun and the other two immediately alarmed the black-striped apes at the outermost edge of the valley. The 6 black-striped apes waved their arms and quickly launched an attack. Their huge bodies burst out with amazing speed and rushed towards Chen Qingyun with a rumble. Chen Qingyun released the 5 elements and 6 combinations, and controlled the golden spirit blades to attack the 6 black-striped apes. The 5 elements used an ice blade technique to cut a black-striped ape in the late stage of qi refining in half. 6 combinations used the earth spike technique to kill 2 black-striped apes at the same time. Looking at Chen Qingyun, he controlled 9 flying blades to burst out and penetrated the bodies of 3 black-striped apes in succession, killing 3 demon apes in one move. In just a few breaths, Chen Qingyun used a few moves to beat the small group of black-striped apes that rushed over to him and killed them all. Whoosh! Chen Xianming set up a sword light, holding the fiery sky sword, and flew straight to the central area of the valley, killing the black-striped ape king. As a social monster, the black-striped apes have extremely sensitive hearing. When they found that a creature had entered their territory, the entire tribe reacted instantly. A roar resounding through the heavens and the earth sounded, and dozens of black-striped apes showed their bodies and surrounded and killed Chen Qingyun and the other 2. Chen Dailin and Chen Xianming's targets were the center of the valley, and they flew directly into the air. These black-striped apes could not hit them for the time being. The appearance of Wuxing and Liu attracted the attention of the group of monster apes, and they surrounded and killed the 2 puppets. With the strength of the foundation building stage, it was more than enough to fight against these black-striped apes in the qi refining stage without much effort. With a few rumbling sounds, Wuxing simply cast a few fire bombs and killed 16 black-striped apes in a row. Liu cast the ice blade technique to split the black-striped apes that flew towards him one by one, and the air was filled with coldness and blood. Chen Qingyun himself, using the golden spirit blade, pierced through the 2 black-striped apes that surrounded him. 9 flying blades shuttled back and forth in the air, with a puffing sound from time to time, killing one black-striped ape after another. In order to make a quick decision, the wooden puppet was also activated to assist in fighting the black-striped apes, and the effect was very significant. These black-striped apes were no match. Looking at Chen Dailin and Chen Xianming again, the 2 of them stepped on the flying magic weapon and whizzed to the location of the infant spirit fruit tree. The black-striped ape king waved his arms and roared as he jumped towards Chen Xianming. Its huge body burst out with amazing jumping power, jumping more than 10 meters off the ground, and punched Chen Xianming hard. The fiery sky sword showed its power, whizzing out and contacting the fist of the black-striped ape king. This black-striped ape king was smarter. He didn't touch the sword with his bare fists, but with a clang, he slapped the sword of the fiery sky sword diagonally, avoiding the edge. On the side, Chen Dailin saw this and used the thousand-beak seal to assist Chen Xianming. No need to help, just warm up. He only heard Chen Xianming say loudly, keep an eye on the spirit tree. Chen Dailin nodded when he heard it, and used the thousand-beak seal to land next to the infant spirit fruit tree. After fighting for more than a dozen rounds, more than half of the more than 100 black-striped apes were killed by Chen Qingyun. Chen Qingyun had an overwhelming advantage. Seeing that the human race's powerful enemies were difficult to deal with, these black-striped apes were no longer reckless, and they gathered together and retreated to the center of the valley. Those black-striped apes that were hunting outside were summoned back early and joined this brutal battle to protect the territory. But even so, how long can they resist? After more than a dozen rounds of fighting, a large number of black-striped apes were killed, and they fell down one by one without any ability to fight back. Except for the black-striped ape king. The last 3 black-striped apes looked terrified and had no intention of fighting again. They scattered in a panic and fled towards the dense forest in the valley. Seeing that the 3 black-striped apes abandoned their territory and fled for their lives, Chen Qingyun raised his eyebrows, but did not chase them. The purpose of their trip was the infant spirit fruit tree. There was no need to kill the entire black-striped ape tribe. It would not hurt to let a few go. This place is far away from Lingjian Island, and the black-striped apes have no ability to cross the sea, and they will not pose a threat in the future. Chen Qingyun put away the 5 elements, 6 combinations, and wood puppets, and performed the light body technique, just wanting to assist Chen Xianming. The black-striped ape king was defeated by Chen Xianming several times, and actually rushed towards the infant spirit fruit tree, wanting to destroy the spirit wood. At the critical moment, Chen Dailin activated the thousand-beak seal to stop the black-striped ape king. Chen Xianming, who was standing by, found the right opportunity and used the sword moves from the fiery sky sword art. The fiery sky sword broke through the air and cut off the head of the black-striped ape king. After successfully killing the foundation-building demon ape, Chen Xianming took a deep breath, looked at Chen Qingyun, and smiled. Have you cleaned up all the black-striped apes? Is it smooth? Well, they are just some demon apes in the chi refining stage. It is not difficult to clean them up, but 3 of them escaped. I did not kill them all. Chen Qingyun smiled slightly and put away the golden spirit child and mother blade. At the same time, he was secretly surprised that the strength of this clan leader was much stronger than he imagined. It is estimated that ordinary foundation building peak cultivators are not the opponent of the clan leader. Below the purple mansion stage, the clan leader can probably come and go freely and it is difficult to meet an opponent. Well, it is not necessary to kill them all, it is better to leave the 3 bloodlines. Chen Xianming nodded slowly and put away the fiery sky sword. You, rest first and recover your mana, leave the rest to me. Chen Dailin was already eager to move. He took out the spirit shovel and other tools and began to carefully dig the infant spirit fruit tree. The whole tree of infant spirit fruit is about 11 meters high, with a trunk as big as a person's embrace, and the roots go deep into the ground for more than 10 meters. So when digging, you need to be extra careful to avoid damaging the roots and causing the loss of spiritual charm. Chen Qingyun and Chen Xianming know that everyone has their own expertise, and it is not the time to show off and help, so they start to recover their mana on the spot. To deal with the black-striped ape, both of them consumed about 30% of their mana. Chen Qingyun consumed more, and directly took a blood and chi pill to recover his mana. Chapter 187 Opening a shop in the market. Soon after. After Chen Qingyun and Chen Xianming had recovered their mana, they looked over at Chen Dailin, who had already collected the Yingling fruit tree. The mission was successfully completed. The 3 of them smiled at each other, cleaned up the battlefield, and then set off to leave. Along the way, in order to ensure the nutrients and moisture of the roots of the Yingling fruit tree, Chen Dailin took it out, often cast spells to replenish the wood attribute aura, and poured water on it. By the time we returned to Lingjian Island, It was already 12 days later. Chen Dailin did not dare to delay at all. He took the Yingling fruit tree to the medicine garden, started transplanting it, and successfully planted it. Fortunately, so far, the Yingling fruit tree has not lost any aura. Afterwards, wait for it to adapt to the soil and ore here for a few days, and then it can continue to thrive. Well, counting the days, in about 5 months, these Yingling fruits will be ripe for picking. Qingyang, King Luan and the others, if they take this infant spirit fruit, they will be able to enter the Qi refining stage in one fell swoop. Our Chen family can finally add 2 new monks. Chen Dailin stood under the Yingling fruit tree and saw that the Yingling fruits on the tree were very green in color and exuded a light fruity aroma, making people want to take a bite. Chen Qingyun stayed with the family for a few days, accompanying Chen Qingluan and teaching her how to read and write. The family attaches great importance to the education of children, and children of the same age should learn no less. The most basic theories of cultivating immortals, identifying medicinal herbs, and passing on the experience of family predecessors are also covered. Chen Qingluan was not used to the life here at first. He often missed home at night, missing his parents and sister, and would always toss and turn and couldn't sleep. Fortunately, with Chen Qingyun's careful company these days, she gradually adapted to it, and her meals and sleep became much sweeter. I have to say that as a Tanlingen, Chen Qingluan's learning ability is really great. It takes children of the same age 2 months to master the knowledge about the layout of the meridians of the human body, but she has mastered them all in just a few days. She was one step ahead of Chen Qingyang. She could already choose the exercises to practice and began to breathe in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to practice. Under the suggestions of Chen Qingyun and Chen Xianming, combined with her own water-attributed spiritual roots, she finally chose blue sea cloud water dew for practice. After staying for another day, Chen Qingyun said goodbye to Chen Qingluan for the time being and set off back to Zhenhai Island. The spiritual fields planted on the island are now in harvest season. Chen Qingyun made some preparations, and he and Chen Qingyun went to the fields to harvest corn sprouts and were very busy. Apart from cultivating immortality, farming is also very interesting and adds a bit of color to life. The yield of corn sprouts this time was 233 jins more than last time, reaching 1,792 jins. In the field of farming, the two of them have figured out some ways, and are close to the normal production capacity of 1,000 kilograms of corn sprouts per acre. From harvesting, tilling the land, raising seedlings, to transplanting rice seedlings, applying magical irrigation, etc., the planting of corn sprouts and rice continues, and time flies by. At the end of the month, in the past 2 months, Chen Qingyun once again obtained 120 red iron swords, which were all the production shares of the weapon refining workshop. In addition to the red iron swords promised by Chen Xianming to be exchanged for foundation building pills, 300 were obtained this time. 420 hematite swords, which have not been disassembled yet, are piled together. What is worth mentioning is that after these days of continuous study and understanding of the formation patterns of the demon refining tower, Chen Qingyun is already very confident in refining this magical weapon. Not wanting to delay any longer, he decided to start refining today. Take out 5 refining materials. I carefully read the refining method described in the jade slips several times and went through it in my mind several times to make sure there was nothing I didn't understand or omit. Let's start refining. I hope I can refine 3 demon refining towers with 5 ingredients. Chen Qingyun turned his palm, and green flames emerged from his palm. Refining magic weapons with Qingyun earth core fire is not only fast, but can also increase the success rate to a certain extent. This refining of the first level magic weapon does not require the assistance of external objects such as the weapon refining furnace. The materials began to dissolve, and under the high temperature of the spiritual fire, 5 materials including magic crystal, black steel, and fire black gold ore were smelted in sequence. Under Chen Qingyun's skillful refining techniques, the fusion was quickly completed. When it came to the shaping stage, since it was to create a tower shape, it took more than half an hour to complete the shaping bit by bit. When it came to the inscription formation, Chen Qingyun took a few deep breaths and did not dare to neglect at all. Every move he made was extremely serious. The first formation pattern, the second formation, the third formation. The inscription continued until the last formation pattern. A total of 26 formation patterns were completed in one go, and the inscription was finally completed. The demon refining tower emits bright light, and the aura unique to the magic weapon ripples out, floating in front of you. Chen Qingyun thought about it and communicated with the demon refining tower, and the voice of the system appeared in his mind. I found a first-order high-grade magic weapon. Should I disassemble, strengthen it? It's done. The first demon refining tower was successfully refined. Chen Qingyun put it aside with a smile on his face and started refining it for the second time. In this way, it took more than half a day and a total of 5 refining operations, and finally 3 demon refining towers were successfully refined. 1 is given to Zhuxiantu to complete the refining commission, 1 is for my own use, and the other is. Chen Qingyun thought about how to use the third demon refining tower, and decided to give it to Chen Qingyun. This thing, which Zhuxiantu wanted to obtain so urgently, would definitely play a huge role in the demon battlefield. The demon refining tower can achieve the effect of refining and killing demons, and can be said to be the nemesis of demons. After completing the refining of magic tools, the next step is to strengthen the demon refining tower. In order to obtain more strengthening points, Chen Qingyun spent another 5 days to refine the red iron, a pair of mantis arms of the golden-winged demon mantis, and many refining materials into magic tools, and continued to increase the refining experience. Strengthening points plus 646 after decomposing the red iron sword and all the magic tools on his body. Chen Qingyun began to strengthen the demon refining tower. He first strengthened a demon refining tower to the first level best for Chen Qingyun to use. The other 2 demon refining towers were continuously strengthened to the second level best. The second level demon refining tower has a stronger aura, the array pattern has increased to 89, and the power of the magic tool has been increased by at least 6 times. The remaining 4 points of strengthening are not much. Chen Qingyun smiled bitterly and shook his head, stopped strengthening, and put away several magic tools. Encountering the problem of not having many magic tools to decompose again, Chen Qingyun couldn't help but sigh that the strengthening points were not enough, and he pondered secretly. These days, an idea that has emerged in his mind has become stronger. That is to open a shop in Zhuxianfang City, which is dedicated to recycling broken magic tools. Due to the reinforcement of the formation on the island, there are 3 formations for protection, and there is also a gathering spirit formation to increase the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Chen Qingyun does not need to guard Zhenhai Island all the time, and can have a lot of time to go out. So, the idea of opening a shop came up. With a shop, on the one hand, you can buy broken magic tools. On the other hand, you can also run it as a family business. In this way, whether it is a red iron sword, a water and fire Taoist robe, or a spiritual scallop, spiritual herbs and medicines, etc. These resources can be sold directly in the shop, eliminating the middleman to earn the difference. However, from renting a shop to guarding it with a dedicated person, to recycling broken magic tools, all these matters need to be considered clearly. The specific idea needs to be discussed with the family. As soon as he said it, Chen Qingyun sent a message and told Chen Xianming about this idea. Unexpectedly, Chen Xianming's response gave him a surprise. Chapter 188 Danhong Pavilion, the shop left by the Zhao family in Hefangshi. Looking at the content of Chen Xianming's reply, Chen Qingyun's eyes lit up and he was quite surprised. Because the family has recently started to open a shop in the market. It just so happened that because the Zhao family was eliminated before, they obtained a shop in the market from the Zhao family in Hefangshi. The family is planning to resume the operation of the shop recently. And during this period, the shop has been renovated and upgraded to make it look like what the Chen family envisioned. Someone sent a pillow when I was sleepy. This is a coincidence. Chen Qingyun smiled. I didn't expect that my idea of opening a shop in the market has already been put into practice by the family. If I asked a few days later, the family's market would start to make money. Chen Qingyun began to ask Chen Xianming about the specific situation of the shop opening. Go directly to Hefang Market, your fourth uncle and his friends are there. Go over and see if you can help. You have many ideas and good thoughts, with you giving advice, the store will surely be even more powerful. Seeing that Chen Qingyun was very interested in the store in the market, Chen Xianming replied quickly and asked Chen Qingyun to go to Hefang Market to see it in person. Chen Qingyun couldn't wait, took out a pen log, and set off for Hefang Market. Soon, he found the store in the market and found that it was just opposite Zhuxiantu Danhong Pavilion. He stopped in front of the store and remembered that when he came to Zhuxiantu before, this store belonged to the Zhao family and was originally called Zhuxiantu. Now that it has been renovated and reopened, it will naturally have to change its name to make it a store of the Chen family. Hey, Qingyun. As soon as Chen Qingyun walked into the store, Chen Qingyun came towards him with a smile. Sixth brother, why are you here too? Hearing Chen Qingyun's call, Chen Qingyun and Chen Douhai also gathered around. The clan leader asked me to come over and have something to discuss with you. Chen Qingyun told the purpose of his visit and looked around the shop. He found that some magic tools, spiritual medicines, and talismans were for sale, neatly arranged. There are quite a lot of goods for sale here. These are all the resources left by the Zhao family. Chen Qingyun smiled and began to introduce. Last time we wiped out the Zhao family, your second grandfather and I came to clean up the remnants of the Zhao family in the market. At that time, the two remnants of the Zhao family were really cunning. Seeing that the situation was not right, they wanted to take away the resources here and run away. Fortunately, your second grandfather stopped them in time. Once the remnants of the Zhao family were eliminated, this shop fell into the hands of our Chen family. Chen Qingyun did not tell how Hunyuan and the Zhao family warrior were cleared out in the market. In this regard, Chen Qingyun did not ask much. He thought that he led Hunyuan and the other two out of the market before taking action to avoid breaking the rule of prohibiting the use of force here. After wandering around the store for a while, Chen Qingyun and Chen Douhai continued to be busy with the store renovation, while Chen Qingyun accompanied them and told them the situation here in detail. I counted the resources left by the Zhao family here, and the total value is about 9,500 spirit stones, which is a considerable harvest, mostly in the form of elixirs. In the elixir sales area, common qi refining pills, qi and blood pills, rejuvenation pills, etc. can be seen, as well as several niche Xuanbing pills, Dangxin pills, etc. The Zhao family's alchemy is more developed than the Chen family, and it is understandable that they mainly promote the sale of elixirs. With the Zhao family's heritage, the alchemy inheritance can bring considerable progress to the Chen family. At present, Chen Dailin is already digesting the alchemy notes left by Zhao Cheng and striving to become a second-level alchemist. Chen Qingyun listened carefully, nodded from time to time, and asked when the store was going to open for business. We have chosen a good day and can open tomorrow, Chen Qingyun said with a smile, knowing Chen Qingyun that in the future, this Danhong Pavilion will be guarded and managed by Chen Douhai and Chen Nianshang. Chen Douhai does not need to practice frequently in the future because of the special nature of his cultivation, so he is naturally the best candidate to sit in Danhong Pavilion. Having a foundation-building cultivator sitting here can also bring greater trust to customers. At least in the eyes of casual cultivators, a strong person in the foundation-building period has a face and will not cheat the spiritual stones of them, the qi refining cultivators. As for Chen Nianshang, he just turned 16 this year and took the initiative to ask to help the family guard the shops in the market. Chen Nianshang's spiritual roots are 5 spiritual roots, and his aptitude is not good. Fortunately, he is very interested in business and has some talent, so the family naturally helps him. When talking about this, Chen Nianshang just came back from outside. When he saw Chen Qingyun, he immediately greeted him, "Meet the 6th elder." No need to be polite. Chen Qingyun looked at Chen Nianshang for a few times. At the age of 12, He was already as tall as him. When he smiled, he was very contagious, and the first impression gave people a sense of affinity. After a few simple chats, I learned that in order to open the store and better understand the market, Chen Nianchang has been wandering around the market these days to understand the market prices of resources such as magic tools, elixirs, talismans, etc., and he is very attentive in his work. In the following chats, Chen Qingyun gradually learned that the family had high hopes for the opening of this store. In terms of magic tools, the red iron sword and tortoise shell shield produced by the refining workshop, and even the water and fire talist robes refined by Chen Daoren, were all brought to Tanhong Pavilion for sale, and no longer sold to other shops and vendors. The rest of the spiritual medicines and spiritual scallops were also brought. Among them, the spiritual sand white breeding, since the Zhao family has already opened up the sales market. It is not troublesome for the Chen family to continue to sell, but it will cost some spiritual stones to remanage interpersonal relationships. After all, it is the monks of the Chen family who are now in contact with those shops and restaurants. The other party knows that the destruction of the Zhao family was caused by the Chen family, and they are more or less afraid. It's human nature, and you still need to get used to purchasing Ling Shibai from the Chen family. Knowing that the store was about to open and the sales of various resources were about to be on track, Chen Qingyun did not hesitate and mentioned the idea of purchasing damaged magic weapons through this store. He wanted to collect the first-level magic weapon, as long as the price was in line with the market price, regardless of the degree of damage, the type, and it was still in the ranks of magic weapons. The money used for the acquisition will be paid by him and can be advanced in advance. It's easy to say that we can acquire the first-level damaged magic weapon. We can make the decision for you. We will add this business today. After talking to Chen Daohai, Chen Qingfeng and others gathered around and readily agreed to the request. You agree so readily, aren't you afraid that there are pitfalls here and you will lose money in the future? Chen Qingyun said jokingly that he originally wanted to mention more about the purpose of acquiring the damaged magic weapon and explain it, but Chen Daohai agreed as soon as he heard it. Haha, you have an idea about this, and you're the one paying for it, so it must be a surefire deal. Chen Daohai smiled and said, the patriarch also told me before that I can listen to your suggestions more about the construction of the store. No, you are here today. Yes, we don't have to worry about you doing things, we just need to support you. Chen Qingfeng said with a smile. Yes, I listen to you, sixth elder. Chen Nianchang nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. Then, I'm grateful for everyone's trust. Chen Qingyun's face showed a look of expectation. Now, with the help of the Fangshi shop, purchasing damaged magic weapons has become normal. Here you can collect and sell at the same time. It no longer seems so out of the blue and can be spotted by others. Chen Qingyun temporarily stayed in Tanhong Pavilion. The next day, amid the sound of firecrackers, the Chen family's Fangshi store opened. Chapter 189 Black Sea. In order to attract customers, Tanhong Pavilion offered a 10% discount on the first day of its opening. Many cultivators were attracted and came to the store, and it was very lively. Liu Zilin noticed Chen Qingyun's figure, and after learning that it was the Chen family's store that opened, she came to show her support in person. When she noticed that Chen Qingyun's strength had improved, Liu Zilin was surprised. I was right about you. Liu Zilin looked at Chen Qingyun with a sharp gaze. After not seeing you for a while, your cultivation level is comparable to mine. How did you cultivate and improve so quickly? Her tone was full of emotion, and her beautiful eyes were full of praise. The last time they met, Chen Qingyun was still at the 9th level of qi refining, but now he has reached the late stage of foundation establishment. Those Tanjiao elites in Lingbao Mountain did not advance their cultivation level so quickly. This younger generation of the Chen family is really amazing. Facing Liu Zilin's praise, Chen Qingyun smiled faintly and said, it's just luck that I successfully built my foundation. You are so modest, I like this. Liu Zilin's face was more admiring, and she smiled and said, with you, the Chen family, I believe that within 10 years, We will be promoted to the Purple Mansion family. After chatting for a while and congratulating Tanhong Pavilion on its opening, Liu Zilin immediately asked about the refining process of the Demon Refining Tower, guessing that it should be almost finished. Wait a little longer, it will be almost done in a few days. Chen Qingyun responded that he had no time to meet Zhuyurong at this time, and he was not in a hurry to hand over the Demon Refining Tower. Now that the family store is open, he is very busy and needs to receive customers and tell them how the 10% discount is calculated. The idea of discount sales was proposed by Chen Qingyun. A morning passed. There were more than 60 customers in the store, and 18 deals were made, selling 12 magic tools, 16 talismans, and 3 first-level herbs. Among them, 4 are tortoise shell shields, 5 are red iron swords, and the rest are other types of magic tools. The net profit of the business in the morning is 103 spiritual stones. The business in the afternoon is more lively, and the net profit exceeds 200 spiritual stones. In the next 2 days, the number of customers is normal and stable, with more than 80 people entering the store every day, and the daily transaction volume is around 2 orders. In 3 days, the net profit has reached 933 spiritual stones, which has exceeded the annual income of a resource industry in the family in previous years. This store is so profitable. Counting the account book, Chen Dohai couldn't help laughing, and Chen Qingyun and others were also happy. Everyone expects that the business will get better and better in the future. On the 5th day of the store opening, after such a busy period of time, Chen Qingfeng and Chen Qingyun returned to the family for practice, leaving Chen Dohai and Chen Nianchang to run the store. Chen Qingyun stayed in the shop for 3 days and personally recovered broken magic weapons. He recovered 3 broken magic weapons, all of which were of the first tier, ranging from low grade to high grade. He found that as the Star Sea monster tide approached, the number of broken magic weapons in the Black Cliff market was much less. The situation was the same in the street market, and everyone seemed reluctant to sell broken magic weapons. After simply asking a few casual cultivators, he found that no matter they were sect cultivators, family cultivators, or casual cultivators. In order to enhance their own strength, most of these people would choose to keep broken magic weapons even if they had them. The main reason for doing so was that the recycling price of broken magic weapons was too low. Second, many cultivators had to follow the Star Sect's conquest, and leaving broken magic weapons unsold was also for future use on the battlefield. At a critical moment, it was still okay to take out the broken magic weapon and hit it 2 or 3 times. It was better than nothing, wasn't it? Only some cultivators in the early stage of qi refining, or cultivators with extra magic tools, would sell broken magic tools because of financial constraints. After figuring this out, Chen Qingyun felt helpless, but he didn't force it. He would take as many as he could get. Fortunately, the family would continue to supply red iron swords for decomposition. 60 red iron swords per month, plus 10 pieces of red iron, could get more than 65 strengthening points per month. There were also red iron swords to be exchanged for foundation building pills. In Tanhong Pavilion, Chen Dohai and Chen Nianchang were guarding the shop. Chen Qingyun sorted out the magic tools he carried with him and found that the number of magic tools he used had reached more than 20. At the same time, in recent times, due to the breakthrough to the late stage of foundation building, the strength of his mind has increased rapidly. In the early stage of foundation building, up to 9 magic tools can be controlled at the same time. In the middle stage of foundation building, it increased to 14. Now, according to the late stage of foundation building, 19 magic tools can be controlled at the same time, and 2 more 5-element puppets can be built. Not only that, through refining the 5 elements of essence and practicing the Tangsu refining god technique during this period, the strength of the mind has increased again. Now you can easily control 22 magic tools while creating 1 more 5-element puppet. There is no need to delay the production of the 5-element puppet. Chen Qingyun used red iron, fire stone, and white silk gold to create 3 puppets of earth, fire, and gold in turn. Then he refined several red iron swords, phantom swords, and tortoise-shell shields to decompose them, and then strengthened the 3 puppets to the first level best. After that, wait for the Da Revisualization Sutra or Tangsu Refining God Technique to make progress. Or after reaching the peak of foundation building, you can refine another puppet and fuse the 3rd foundation building puppet. Speaking of the Tangsu Refining Divine Art, there is still some distance to the 2nd level, and the 5 elements of energy in my body have long been consumed. It's time to buy some more. After noting the need to buy the 5 elements of energy, Chen Qingyun set his eyes on the fragment of the mirror. The fragment of the green mirror. This item has been kept in the storage bag for a long time, for 3 or 4 months, and it was obtained from the purple jade demon. Chen Qingyun's mind sank into it and read it carefully again. He found that the information fluctuations transmitted in the broken mirror were becoming more and more obvious, reminding him to get ready and go to the ancient cave to get opportunities. Outer Star Sea Area, Black Dragon Sea. Reading the gathering place inside, Chen Qingyun frowned. This outer star sea is high and far away. If you count from this black cliff market, it is more than 900,000 miles away from the junction of the inner and outer star seas. Even if you take the Pan Long to sail at full speed day and night, it will take at least 3 months. This is just to reach the outer star sea. Although the specific location of the Black Flood Dragon Sea can be accurately located with the green brilliant remnant lens, it is estimated that it will take a long time to go deeper into the outer sea. It is not feasible to spend several days on the road. Time is limited. I must reach the Black Flood Dragon Sea within a month. It seems that I have to take a teleportation array to travel such a long distance. After some thought, Chen Qingyun found the most suitable way to travel. Since ancient times, there are not only ships and other means of transportation to travel between the inner and outer seas. In order to facilitate long-distance travel, the Star Sect has established large teleportation arrays in various places in the inner sea. Cultivators only need to pay a certain amount of spirit stones to teleport hundreds of thousands of miles between Xumi and reach the outer sea. The construction sites of these teleportation arrays are on the 36 outer islands of the Star Sect. Chen Qingyun is not clear about the specific situation, how much money is needed for one teleportation, and which outer island is teleported to which area in the outer sea. He has not taken a teleportation array yet. However, this is in the Zhuxian market, and the most abundant thing is cultivators. Asking some cultivators will get the answer. It was just right. I could hand over the Demon Refining Tower to Zhuxiantu and ask for information about the Star Sect's outer island teleportation array. With this thought in mind, Chen Qingyun got up and left Danhong Pavilion and headed for Zhuxiantu. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 190 Cooperation and the Acquisition of Broken Magical Instruments. The refining of the Demon Refining Tower is completed. I will send a message to the Master right now. After learning that Chen Qingyun had come and brought good news about the success of the Demon Refining Tower, Lu Yuzhelin looked delighted and immediately sent a message to Zhuxiantu. After waiting for 2 days, Zhuxiantu arrived at Zhuxiantu. Later stage of foundation building, not bad. Zhuxiantu's sharp eyes also saw Chen Qingyun's level of cultivation, and he admired this junior even more. Chen Qingyun smiled humbly and took out the Demon Refining Tower. According to Senior's request, Senior Lu built the Demon Refining Tower. Senior, please check it out. Zhuxiantu came towards the Demon Refining Tower. His eyes immediately brightened. He took the Demon Refining Tower and looked at it for a while, then nodded with a smile on his face. The magic weapon is good. Senior Lu's weapon refining skills are superb. This refining completely meets my requirements. Zhuxiantu put away the Demon Refining Tower, took out the prepared spirit stones and handed them to Chen Qingyun. This is 10,000 spiritual stones. You can check it out. In the past few months, She had damaged her Taoist body due to fighting with enemies. Almost all her wealth was used to purchase healing medicine and various spiritual pills, and she had very few spiritual stones left. Recently, she borrowed 50,000 spirit stones from Ancestor Bei. Because of this, out of favor, she has been very busy these days assisting Patriarch Bei to operate around Yaoang Mountain to eliminate some monster beasts that have poured in from the Sea of 10,000 Demons. Now, with the Demon Refining Tower in hand, it will be much easier to deal with those monsters. I can trust Senior. Chen Qingyun didn't know what to think and put away the spirit stone directly. Your mouth is quite sweet. A smile appeared on Zhuxiantu's lips, and before Chen Qingyun could respond, she stood up and left. Okay, you two young people, let's talk more. I have some important matters to deal with. I can't tolerate any further delay, so I'll take my leave. Thank you, Senior Lu, for me. If there is another need for weapon refining in the future, I will have to ask him again. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhuxiantu set up a purple stream of light and flew out of Zilin's sky, disappearing from the sky in the blink of an eye. After Zhuxiantu left, Chen Qingyun and Liu Zilin chatted about the market conditions of various resources in the market, and felt confident. Chen Qingyun thought over and over again and decided to go through Liu Zilin's hands again to see if he could acquire a batch of damaged magic weapons. In terms of connections and circles, Liu Zilin is definitely better than the Chen family. It is obvious that the effect will be much better if she is responsible for recovering the damaged magic weapons. Suitable for a two-pronged approach, Danhong Pavilion and Zilintian purchase damaged magic weapons at the same time. You want me to help you acquire broken magic weapons? Liu Zilin looked thoughtful after learning Chen Qingyun's thoughts. Purchasing damaged magic weapons, since the magic tools are of different grades and the degree of damage is also uneven, it will be a little troublesome to recycle them. Liu Zilin talked about the difficulties. Chen Qingyun himself knew what she said. When purchasing damaged magical instruments at the Yishidao night market, there would often be large price differences due to the different levels of damage to magical instruments of the same grade. This is also the reason why Liu Zilin has not purchased the damaged magic weapon so far, because it is troublesome and the profit is not big. Just collect it for me, and I can pay you more spiritual stones. As long as it's a magic weapon that still has formation patterns, it doesn't matter what grade it is. After saying that, Chen Qingyun added another sentence. Senior Lu needs a lot of damaged magic weapons recently, so he specifically asked me to handle this matter. I want to handle it successfully. Liu Zilin pondered for a moment, and finally nodded gently. You have helped us a lot. I can promise you this, but I can't guarantee how much I can collect. I can only try my best. Then, it's all your fault. You're welcome. Regarding the specific division of interests, Chen Qingyun explained in detail that he could spend 3 more spiritual stones on Zilantian's purchase price for each magic weapon to purchase it himself. In other words, Liu Zilin used 10 spirit stones to purchase a first-level low-grade magic weapon, and when it was given to Chen Qingyun would spend 13 spirit stones to purchase it. Let Liu Zilin come to help, and naturally it must be profitable for her, so that her work will not be in vain. What Chen Qingyun values is Liu Zilin's huge acquisition resources and connections. This is much better than waiting for monks to come to sell broken magic weapons. The two discussed for a while and finally reached an agreement. Chen Qingyun paid 5,000 spirit stones in advance as recovery funds. When the time comes to collect the magic weapon, he will refund the remaining amount and make up for it. After talking about the cooperation in the acquisition of magical weapons, Chen Qingyun mentioned another serious matter and asked about the teleportation arrays on the outer islands of Star Sect. Yaoang Mountain is located in the outer Star Sea. Whether it's Liu Zilin, Wanjiantu, or Zhuxiantu, the 3 of them can frequently appear in this sea of stars, so they don't have to fly straight over or take a boat every time. The teleportation array must have been used. Therefore, asking them is undoubtedly the best choice. Sure enough, Liu Zilin immediately gave the answer when she heard that it was a teleportation array heading to the outer star sea. Each of Starsek's 36 outer islands has a teleportation array on it, which can be teleported to 36 different areas in the outer star sea. When I go to and from Lingbao Mountain, I use the teleportation array on Shuoyao Island. At this point, Liu Zilin saw that Chen Qingyun had the idea of going to the outer star sea, but did not ask further questions. It is completely normal for this foundation building monk to shuttle between the inner and outer star seas. Many monks in the inner star sea will choose to take the teleportation array to hunt monsters in the outer star sea and earn spiritual stones. You want to go to the outer star sea. This is simple. You just need to decide which part of the outer star sea you want to go to, and then decide which teleportation array on the outer island to use. Liu Zilin patiently explained, the farther it is transmitted, the more expensive it is. You can look at this map of the Sea of Stars. Liu Zilin took out a star sea teleportation map, which recorded the locations of 7 Tai-2 teleportation arrays in detail, and introduced it to Chen Qingyun in detail. Chen Qingyun listened quietly and gradually figured out the locations of the major teleportation arrays. In the inner star sea, there are 36 teleportation arrays on the outer island of Starsec. On the other side of the outer star sea, there are also 36, which correspond to the teleportation arrays in the inner star sea, and are all fixed teleportation routes. The difference is that the teleportation array in the outer star sea is jointly controlled by the 4 major sects: Wuan Island, Yaoang Mountain, Lingbao Mountain, and Chonglu. According to the position of the Black Dragon Sea and the teleportation map of the Star Sea, Chen Qingyun finally knew where to go to take the teleportation array. You want to go to Black Dragon Sea. The shortest route and the most time-saving option is to use the teleportation array on Qianlong Island. Liu Zilin also gave the correct answer and suggested the Black Dragon Sea is huge, with a radius of 100,000 miles. Once you arrive, you can just go there on your own. Chen Qingyun had a specific route in mind and asked about the transmission price. How much does it cost to teleport from Qianlong Island to Black Dragon Sea? Liu Zilin has never been to Black Dragon Sea. However, it is a full 160,000 miles away from Yaoang Mountain. She roughly estimated the price in her mind, and said with a slight smile, "It's actually not expensive to take the teleportation array. One round trip costs up to 50 spirit stones." After asking for the answer he wanted, Chen Qingyun nodded slowly, said a few polite words of gratitude, and was about to get up and leave. "Wait a minute, we'll leave later." At this time, Liu Zilin stopped him, took out an invitation, and handed it to Chen Qingyun for inspection. Look at this. Chapter 191, Barter Conference. What is this? Seeing the invitation, Chen Qingyun subconsciously thought that there was some happy event going on and he was invited to the banquet, so he couldn't help asking. This is the invitation to the Black Cliff Barter Conference. You will know after you take a look. Liu Zilin didn't introduce it much, just mentioned the word Barter Conference. Chen Qingyun nodded slowly, opened the invitation and read it, and soon understood what this was about. What is the Barter Conference? The invitation pointed out. 3 days ago, a Yaoangshan Foundation building cultivator named Wei Xiangyuan, together with Wu Yingcai, a foundation building casual cultivator in Black Cliff Market, prepared to jointly hold a trade fair composed of foundation building cultivators. The so-called barter means that all participants take out the magic tools, elixirs, talismans, etc. that they don't need, and exchange treasures with other people. This kind of trade fair is usually held once a year, but the time is irregular and initiated by the leader from time to time. Before each event, the initiator will invite many foundation building cultivators in Black Cliff Market and its surrounding areas to participate. And the atmosphere will be very lively. The opening time of this exchange conference is 2 days later. A trade fair between foundation building cultivators. Are you going to attend? After reading the invitation, Chen Qingyun asked, guessing that Liu Zilin took out the invitation to show him, obviously wanting to tell him this news. If you are interested, you can go and have a look. There are indeed 1 or 2 treasures that need to be exchanged. Liu Zilin nodded, smiled and asked, "Do you want to go with me to have a look?" In the past, when I was still in the qi refining stage, I naturally couldn't reach such a trade fair, and I didn't even have the qualifications to enter. Now that I have achieved foundation building, my strength is no longer the same as before, so I can naturally go and participate. The invitation mentioned that any cultivator who received the invitation can bring friends in the foundation building stage to go, without limiting the number of people. For such a trade fair, the more participants there are, the more treasures there will be. Who would complain about too many people? Being able to access this level of trade fair is not only a good time to make connections. It can also prepare for going to the Black Dragon Sea, exchange some treasures, accumulate more resources, and improve strength. Naturally, Chen Qingyun would not refuse. He had an idle magic weapon on him, which was just right, so he nodded and said, "Okay, I'll go with you." They agreed to meet again and 2 days in left Zilenshan. Chen Qingyun went to Tang again, spent 4,800 spirit stones, and bought 20 large bags of 5 elements essence at one time. 2 days later, Zhuxian building in Hefang City. There were 39 cultivators participating in this exchange conference, not many in number, and Chen Qingyun didn't know any of them. They were very unfamiliar. Liu Zilin met a few familiar people, half of whom were female foundation building cultivators, and had some friendship with them, so she introduced them to Chen Qingyun. As the youngest foundation building cultivators present. Among them, except for Wei Xiangyuan, Wu Yingcai, and Liu Zilin, Chen Qingyun's appearance was the fourth late-stage foundation building cultivator. Many people complimented him. Before the conference officially started, Chen Qingyun, because of his great potential, met 16 cultivators, half of whom were from immortal cultivation families. Among them, there were 3 sect cultivators from Lingbao Mountain, Zhonglu, and Wuan Island, and they also knew the basic situation of the foundation building cultivators in the Black Cliff Market. Compared with the auction, the atmosphere here seemed much more harmonious. Many people were old acquaintances, laughing and chatting with each other, and they were having a good time. Okay. Since the time has come, we won't wait any longer, and the transaction will start now. Wei Xiangyuan, who initiated the trade fair, stood up, walked to the stage, took the initiative to throw bricks and jade, and took out a jade box for storing spirits and opened it. This is a moon grass, which can assist the qi refining cultivators in building their foundations. I believe everyone knows the specific value of this thing, so I won't elaborate on it. I want to exchange it for a gold-attributed refining material. The appearance of the moongrass attracted everyone's attention. Chen Qingyun recalled his memory and immediately recalled his understanding of this thing. The moonlight grass is a second-level lower-grade spiritual fruit that grows in extremely cold places and absorbs the essence of the moon. There are 2 ways to use this thing. The first is to use it alone, which can only participate in alchemy and achieve medicinal value. The second is to take it with the foundation building pill, which can help the foundation building pill to exert a greater effect and increase the probability of foundation building by 20%. This moonlight grass taken with the foundation building pill is useful for your family. Liu Zilin looked at Chen Qingyun and said. Chen Qingyun nodded and was very interested in this moonlight grass. He could exchange it and give it to the family for the clan members to use for foundation building. In the storage bag, there are 2 second-level materials among the refining materials given by the clan leader. However, before Chen Qingyun could speak, a cultivator said, "I will exchange a piece of golden moon cold stone with you." The speaker was a cultivator from the Wei family. He had the same surname as Wei Xiangyuan, but they were not from the same family. Chen Qingyun knew this person. He was a cultivator in the early stage of foundation building who had just met. His name was Wei Jiaxing. After learning about the golden moon cold stone, Wei Xiangyuan shook his head. The golden moon cold stone is a second grade lower grade, not good enough. The best is a second grade middle grade. Wei Jiaxing heard this and put away the golden moon cold stone with a wry smile. There were only 2 or 3 refiners present, and everyone had met several times. Apart from the refiners, who would buy a second grade middle grade refinery material and carry it with them. So, for a while, no one made a move. Seeing this, Wei Xiangyuan was about to give up. But at this time, Chen Qingyun said, "I have a piece of silver shining water gold here, I will exchange it with you." Among the refining materials given by Chen Xianming, there are two second-level materials. This silver glowing water gold is a second-level medium-quality material. Seeing that the opportunity was rare, Chen Qingyun directly made an exchange. Silver glowing water gold. Wei Xiangyuan pondered for a moment, and soon nodded readily, "Okay." The two exchanged each other. After Chen Qingyun put away the yuan grass, Wei Xiangyuan stepped down, and then another cultivator took the stage. "I want to exchange the second-level low-quality hunting monster fruit for a second-level blood replenishing and healing elixir. Which Taoist friend is willing to exchange?" The hunting monster fruit can attract second-level monster beasts. At a certain moment, it can quickly hunt monster beasts and obtain second-level monster pills. This thing is not very useful to Chen Qingyun, so naturally he has no interest in exchanging. However, there are still two people who are interested in the scene. They took out treasures to exchange. In the end, one of them took out a blood-replenishing Ganoderma and successfully exchanged it. Later, cultivators came on stage one after another and took out their own treasures for exchange, but Chen Qingyun was not very interested. During this period, Liu Zilin took out a second-level medium-quality flying sword and exchanged it for a second-level medium-quality flying snow bracelet from a female cultivator from Lingbao Mountain. The transaction continued. Wu Yingcai walked onto the stage, took out a jade slip, and said slowly, "This is the method of refining the auxiliary magic weapon Shanhai Qinglian Tai. After refining Shanhai Qinglian Tai, this item can be used as the second true essence of the foundation building cultivator. However, I have been collecting materials for more than 10 years, but I have never been able to collect all the materials. I will take it out for exchange today. I want to use it to exchange for a second-level high-quality enemy-binding magic weapon." Chapter 192 The Second Type of True Essence. After Wu Yingcai finished speaking, considering that some people still don't know much about the Shanhai Qinglian platform, she introduced it in detail. As an auxiliary magic weapon, the Shanhai Qinglian platform has a very simple function. It can be used as the second danshan of the foundation building cultivator to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, so as to achieve the effect of condensing, storing and releasing true essence. To put it bluntly, after the true essence of one's own is exhausted, the true essence in the Shanhai Qinglian platform can be used again, which is equivalent to having two true essences. Such auxiliary magic weapons that replenish true essence and mana are rare on the market and can almost be called extinct. Wu Yingcai said that she didn't want it, which was naturally a lie, but as she said, it is really difficult to collect all the refining materials. There are 4 kinds of refining materials for the Shanhai Qinglian platform, namely the spiritite tree, the essence of spirit wood, the earth fire purple gold copper, and the Shanhai Qinglian. No matter which one is here, it can be said to be a rare treasure of heaven and earth. It is really difficult to collect all 4. Chen Qingyun had heard of the Sea of God's azure lotus alone. This thing is so rare that it was only born in an ancient mysterious sea in the Sea of 10,000 Monsters. This sea is vast and strange. Legend has it that in ancient times, there were monsters and gods who settled there to practice, so it was named the Sea of Monsters and Gods, and it has existed until now. The Sea of God's azure lotus has the miraculous effect of storing true essence. It can be preserved for several months without losing true essence. It is a product outside the star sea. After learning the specific situation of the Sea of God's azure lotus platform, everyone looked at each other in bewilderment. Many cultivators who originally wanted to exchange it gave up the idea, and no one spoke. Many people have a second-level superior magic weapon, but they all think it is precious. How can they be willing to exchange it for the method of refining a magic weapon? Moreover, the magic weapon is very difficult to refine, and there is almost no possibility of gathering all the materials. The spiritite tree, that kind of rare treasure of heaven and earth, has not been heard of anywhere in the entire star sea in the past 10 years. Even if it exists, they don't think it is something that a foundation building cultivator can get involved in. The atmosphere fell into silence. Do you think it's not worthwhile, fellow Taoists? Seeing that no one was willing to buy, Wu Yingcai smiled bitterly, knowing that this item might not be exchanged. Seeing that Wu Yingcai herself felt the same way, a cultivator nodded immediately. Indeed, the spiritite tree is almost extinct in the Star Sea. We can't collect the spiritite tree and the spirit wood essence among the 4 refining materials. How can we refine this divine sea blue lotus platform? Yes, although this item is good, it is too difficult to refine. Even if I get it in exchange, I can only let it be covered in dust. Fellow Taoist Wu, this item is not easy to exchange. The 3 cultivators spoke in turn. The spiritite tree is hard to find, and we don't have such a divine item in Lingbao Mountain. The cultivator from Lingbao Mountain also shook his head, saying that Lingbao Mountain might not be able to collect all the materials, and the difficulty of refining is indeed very high. Hearing this, Wu Yingcai smiled bitterly again. She hesitated for a moment, trying to hold on to the last glimmer of hope, and continued. How about this? If any fellow Taoist is willing to exchange, I can give you 2 Sea of God Azure Lotus and 2 pieces of Earth Fire Purple Gold Copper. Of the 4 refining materials, she only collected Sea of God Azure Lotus and Earth Fire Purple Gold Copper. For the other 2, she has been looking for more than 10 years without any news, so she can only put them aside. Whoever wants to exchange today will exchange it together with the refining jade slip. Sea of God Azure Lotus platform. Liu Zilin's eyes lit up slightly, and she was a little interested in this thing. What a pity. But even she was not sure to find a spiritual tree like the spiritite tree, so she had to give up. Just when everyone was silent again and Wu Yingcai was about to step down with regret, Chen Qingyun could no longer hold back, and a fiery feeling surged in his heart. Of the 4 refining materials, the spiritite tree was still used by him frequently to refine the wood puppet. Not to mention the spirit wood essence, which was taken every day and produced a drop every day. He still had 2 pieces of Earth Fire Purple Gold Copper in his hand. The only thing missing was the Azure Lotus of the Sea of Gods. I didn't expect that Wu Yingcai had already collected 2. Originally, I was still thinking about which magic weapon I should exchange, because the thing I liked the least was the magic weapon. Later, how should I collect the Azure Lotus of the Sea of Gods? Wu Yingcai couldn't sit still first, and added a gift, including the Azure Lotus of the Sea of Gods. Whatever is needed, it is given. With the calm look, Chen Qingyun took out the sky repairing net and said lightly. This is a 2nd level top-grade sky repairing net. I exchanged it with Senior Wu. This sky repairing net was a broken magic weapon purchased at the night market of Yishi Island, and then strengthened and repaired. For Chen Qingyun, the value of the Azure Lotus platform of the Sea of Gods far exceeds this sky repairing net. In order to avoid suspicion, Chen Qingyun did not forget to sign that he had the spiritite tree and the spirit wood essence in his hands. I'm just short of a few pieces of Earth Fire Purple Gold Copper to make a magical tool. I've come at the right time. Senior Wu has just solved my urgent need. Everyone looked at Chen Qingyun after hearing this. This Earth Fire Purple Gold Copper is a specialty of Hunyuan Island. It can be used in the refining of many second-level magical tools and is considered a rare item on the market. If you don't have some friendship with the monks of Hunyuan Island, it's really hard to get a few pieces. Exchanging a magical tool for a Earth Fire Purple Gold Copper, you can also get a refining jade slip and 2 divine sea blue lotuses. This is not a loss. Okay, fellow Taoist Chen, I'll exchange with you. Wu Yingcai looked happy. After all, she could guess the treasure she wanted. She and Chen Qingyun got what they needed and completed the exchange with satisfaction. After getting the jade slips and materials for refining, Chen Qingyun was already very happy, and continued to watch the next transaction quietly. The next person to come on stage was Zhang Chuning from Hunyuan Island. He was an old acquaintance of Liu Zilin, and took out a Ren crystal bead. I want to exchange a 2nd-grade top-grade Ren crystal bead for a water-attributed defensive magic weapon of the same rank. Which Taoist friend is willing to help me? The Ren Crystal Bead is a rare magic weapon with both water and wood attributes. It can exert the power of these two attributes at the same time when it is controlled. This item is also very popular among female cultivators because of its exquisite shape and the effect of nourishing the skin and warming the complexion. After seeing this item, Liu Zilin took the lead and exchanged it with a second-grade medium-grade Shuyu and Xuanwu mirror. Both women happily obtained the treasure. The trading conference continued, and one cultivator after another came on stage to show the treasures to be exchanged, attracting everyone's attention. Some people did not exchange for the treasures they wanted and left the stage regretfully, while others were lucky and got what they wanted. Until the end of the trade fair, Chen Qingyun had not made any moves and had not encountered the treasures he wanted. Liu Zilin just watched quietly and chatted with Chen Qingyun from time to time. After the trade fair ended and parted with Liu Zilin, Chen Qingyun returned to Tanhong Pavilion. I don't have the spirit eye tree or the spirit wood essence. If I want to refine the God Sea Blue Lotus platform, I need to go back to Zhenhai Island first. After informing Chen Dohai, Chen Qingyun said goodbye and set off back to Zhenhai Island to start refining the God Sea Blue Lotus platform. Chapter 193, Rapid Increase of Reinforcement Points. Under the Spirit Eye Tree, after being out for several days, there are still a few drops of spirit wood essence stored in the root area. Fifth sister did not take these spirit wood essences. It seems that they are left for me. Thinking of Chen Qingyun, Chen Qingyun smiled slightly. He broke off a branch of the spirit eye tree and took out the earth fire purple gold copper, the Sea of God Azure Lotus and the refining jade slip. The jade slip recorded that the Sea of God Azure Lotus platform was a second-grade upper-grade magic weapon, which could store the same true energy as a cultivator in the middle stage of foundation building. Fortunately, there is also a lowest version of this thing, which is a first-grade upper-grade, but the effect will be greatly discounted. Refining a first-grade upper-grade magic weapon is not a problem for me. I hope it will succeed once. There are only 2 Sea of God Azure Lotuses, and it can be refined twice at most. In order to ensure success once, Chen Qingyun continued to comprehend the refining method in the next 2 days. On the 3rd day, he started to refine. Summoning the green flame earth core fire, he smelted the 2 materials, the earth fire purple gold copper and the branches and leaves of the spirit eye tree, one after another. Under the control of the powerful divine mind, the smelting was very handy. For the next fusion, it should be noted that the Sea of God's Azure Lotus does not need to be smelted, only part of it needs to be melted, and the spiritual charm inside it can be stimulated by high temperature. The same is true for the spirit wood essence. If it is smelted too much, it will evaporate. Here, just fuse the smelted earth fire purple gold copper, the spirit wood essence, and even the spiritual charm fragments of the branches and leaves of the spirit eye tree into the Sea of God's Azure Lotus. Because of the high temperature smelting, the Sea of God's Azure Lotus exudes a fiery blue light, and continues to emit white mist, which is full of rich vitality. Chen Qingyun's eyes flashed, and he carried out the fusion carefully and slowly, integrating the 4 materials bit by bit. After 2 days, the fusion was completed, and white light surged on the Sea of God's Azure Lotus. The strength of this divine sea blue lotus, because it has been added with the earth fire purple gold copper, is no longer afraid of attacks from magic weapons of the same level. The 3rd step of shaping is very simple. It only takes half an incense stick of time to adjust the appearance of the divine sea blue lotus. The final inscription of the array, a total of 23 array patterns. Among them, only 2 of the spirit refining array patterns are slightly more complicated, which need to give the magic weapon the ability to refine the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and convert it into magic power storage. As the array patterns are successfully engraved, this magic weapon becomes more and more mysterious. This lasted for more than 3 hours, accompanied by the divine sea blue lotus emitting a brilliant moon-white light. The entire refining process came to a successful conclusion. Chen Qingyun's mind moved, and the divine sea blue lotus platform flew to the palm of his hand. Under the control, the 6 lotuses began to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. slowly converting it into magic power and storing it in the Lotus platform. Try again to control the magic power in the Sea of Gods and Green Lotus without using the magic power in the Danshan. Chen Qingyun can perform simple fire bombs and wind control. The maximum strength of the magic power that can be stored can only reach the 6th level of Qi refining. First grade. Upper grade. The absorbed spiritual energy of heaven and earth cannot be converted into true essence, and it still needs to be strengthened to improve the grade. After the simple experiment, Chen Qingyun did not rush to strengthen, but set his sights on the remaining refining materials. Auxiliary magic tools, the same type can be controlled at the same time. With the strength of my divine mind, it is not a problem to control one more Sea of Gods and Green Lotus platform. Then, refine another one. This second refining was much more proficient, and Chen Qingyun completed the refining in the second half of the night. Strengthening points. For checking the strengthening points, Chen Qingyun will not strengthen these two Sea of Gods and Green Lotus platforms for the time being. After waiting for more than 10 days, I will get a share of the family's red iron sword and the damaged magic tools purchased in the Black Cliff Market. I think I may get a lot of strengthening points. There is no rush for this moment. In the following days, Chen Qingyun practiced daily and learned the art of refining weapons. The rest of the time, he was immersed in practicing Thousand-Star Sword art. In Thousand-Star Sword art, in addition to many sword moves, there are also two powerful moves: Thousand-Star Sword Shield and Starlight Phantom Sword Formation. Thousand-Star Sword Shield is a defensive sword move, which can instantly cast thousands of flying swords, combined into several sword shields as defense, to resist the attacks of cultivators of the same realm. It can be said that the defense below the Purple Mansion stage is invincible. Starlight Phantom Sword Formation, on the basis of casting Thousand-Star Sword Shield, turns defense into attack, and controls thousands of flying swords to kill. The sword light reflected by the sword blades is like a sky full of stars. After this sword move is launched, ordinary foundation building cultivators can't resist it at all, and defensive magic weapons can be easily broken. After this period of hard work, Chen Qingyun mastered the Thousand-Star Sword Shield. After using it, he was confident that he could resist the attack of the peak foundation building cultivator. Time flies, and the cultivation on the island can't feel the passage of time. In a blink of an eye, it's the end of the month. Chen Qingyun continued to work hard and mastered the Starlight Phantom Sword Formation. At the same time, during this period, the family gave Chen Qingyun 306 red iron swords. 60 of them were the share of the red iron swords produced by the weapon refining workshop this month. The other 246 were owed by the family in exchange for the foundation building pill. Adding the 300 swords that had been taken out before, the total converted into spirit stones is 30030. There are 30 more spirit stones here, so the family will naturally not care too much. This is the harvest of magic tools from the family. In addition, there is the Black Cliff Market. Chen Qingyun went to the Black Cliff Market and recovered a lot of broken magic tools from Danhong Pavilion and Liuzilin. Danhong Pavilion recovered a total of 76 first-level magic tools in 1 month, the highest of which was a first-level top-grade one, costing 2,933 spirit stones. Liuzilin recovered more than double the number of magic tools, reaching 209, which were also first-level magic tools, with a total value of 8,191 spirit stones. These 8,191 spirit stones were added by Chen Qingyun when he recovered the broken magic tools from Liuzilin for the second time. This was agreed upon before, so Liuzilin would not work in vain. It is worth mentioning that Liuzilin knows how to do business, and Chen Qingyun gave her 5,000 spirit stones for their recovery. But according to Chen Qingyun's idea, she would collect as many broken magic tools as she could. So, she did not set a recovery quantity. As long as the array pattern was still there and could be controlled, she would recover all of them. To this end, Chen Qingyun also replenished more than 3,000 spirit stones to fill the gap that Liuzilin paid out of her own pocket. According to Liuzilin's observation, such a large-scale recycling of broken magic tools this month. In the area of He Market, It is estimated that it will be difficult to return to this number of broken magic tools in a short period of time. If you want to recycle more in large quantities, you can either go to other markets or wait for a few more months for broken magic tools to continue to be produced. After all, compared with the continuous daily refining of magic tools in various places, the speed of the production of broken magic tools is much slower, and they are all damaged in battle. In Tanhong Pavilion. Strengthening points plus 306, strengthening points plus 50, strengthening points plus 369. Decomposed these red iron swords and broken magic tools. The strengthening point value continued to rise. Chen Qingyun's eyes flashed, and he began to strengthen the magic tools. Chapter 194 Moling Advancement. At the same time, Chen Qingyun strengthened Liu Xuxi Flying Sword, and Soul Nourishing Jade to the second level. The Soul Nourishing Jade in it can protect the soul of the soul. It is self-evident how effective it is. Just when dealing with the old purple jade demon, this magic weapon worked wonders and firmly protected his soul. This magic weapon is very important. As of now, he has 9 top-grade second-level magic weapons with him, including the 5 elements, the Thousand-Star Demon Slaying Sword, the Purple Light Mask, and the Demon Refining Tower. Among the others, there is one second-level high-grade magic weapon, the Moon Sun Orb. The second-level middle grade has golden black rings and transparent silk threads. There are several second-level low-grade items, such as the Red Scale Flying Shield, the Green Flame Sword, the Purple Spirit Robe, the Escape Sky Boat, and so on. There are still some first-order magic weapons. It can be said that Chen Qingyun has many magical weapons, the lowest of which are first class. Many monks who have just entered the foundation building stage are still using first-class magic weapons. Strengthen these magic weapons, and the remaining strengthening points will be 658. Although, in the short term, we will no longer be able to obtain a large number of damaged magic weapons in Hefang City, we still cannot save the strengthening points. We still have to use them when they are needed. Chen Qingyun took out 2 divine sea green lotus platforms and suspended them in the palms of his left and right hands. After continuous strengthening, these 2 magic weapons were promoted to the second level of the best. The lotus petals changed from 6 to 9. And the effect was improved several times. He began to use one of the divine sea green lotus platforms to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and convert it into true essence. This process took most of a day. When the refining platform was full, Chen Qingyun was surprised to find that the concentration of true energy stored in it had far exceeded his own by more than 20%. At this time, in terms of true energy alone, even if you fight with a peak foundation building monk, you can still use your true energy to kill the opponent. In addition, there is also a divine sea green lotus platform, so even if you fight against the Zaifu monks, you may not suffer a loss. Unable to conceal the excitement in his heart, Chen Qingyun stored the second divine sea Qinglian platform full of true energy, which lasted until the next day, and then stood up. Just as he was about to leave the retreat room, something happened in the spirit beast bag. Mo Ling is awake? Chen Qingyun's expression changed, and he quickly opened the spirit beast bag, and then he saw Mo Ling flying out happily, squeaking and squeaking around Chen Qingyun. He, you must be so hungry. After understanding Mo Ling's complaint of hunger, Chen Qingyun took out the spirit nourishing pill and tried to feed him. When he saw the spirit nourishing pill, he went up to it and smelled it a few times. Mo Ling screamed happily and swallowed the spirit-nourishing pill in one gulp. Eat slowly, no one will compete with you. Chen Qingyun touched Mo Ling's little head, took out another spiritual nourishing pill, and looked at it carefully while Mo Ling lowered his head to eat again. After sleeping for about 2 months, Mo Ling's most obvious change was that his body grew from the size of a parrot to the size of an owl. Then there are the golden feathers on its head. If you look closely, it becomes even more golden, and it is extremely eye-catching against the black feathers. The existence of this golden feather clearly shows that the little guy is definitely not the Thunder Eagle. As for what kind of spiritual beast it is, Chen Qingyun still can't recognize it. Forget it, if you don't know him, then he doesn't know him. Being accompanied by Mo Ling also adds a bit of fun to the boring practice life. Finally, After noticing Mo Ling's cultivation, Chen Qingyun's expression changed. Early stage of foundation building. It's not easy. After eating a few thunder-marked fruits and sleeping for more than 2 months, Mo Ling was promoted from the 7th level of Qi refining to the early stage of foundation building. This improvement in strength is too rapid. And it actually contains such great potential. It's just that with such a small body, it's hard for people to think that this is a foundation building spiritual beast, and it doesn't look fierce. Chirp, chirp, chirp. After swallowing the second spirit-nourishing pill, Mo Ling burped and flew around Chen Qingyun with satisfaction, looking extremely happy. After playing with Mo Ling for a while, Chen Qingyun thought about it and decided not to let Mo Ling live in the spirit beast bag. With its current cultivation level, it should have a better living environment. So, Chen Qingyun took out the Blessed Land bead, opened the Blessed Land world inside and said, "You can live here from now on." With the appearance of the fortune bead, Chen Qingyun occasionally went in by himself to stay for a while. There was spiritual energy from heaven and earth inside, which could satisfy his cultivation. Compared to the spirit beast bag, staying here is obviously more comfortable. There are mountains, water, and aura of vegetation, which is very suitable for the life of spiritual animals. Mo Ling trusted Chen Qingyun very much and flew into the fortune pearl, followed closely by Chen Qingyun. Each other came to the blessed land pearl. What you can see is the continuous green mountains, streams flowing in the mountains and rivers, the blue sky, white clouds floating, and the fresh air permeating the air, as if you are really in the real world. The area here is about 100 miles in radius, which is not too small. It can be called a paradise-like existence. Living here, Mo Ling feels like returning to nature, flying around, landing on branches or soaring in the blue sky from time to time. As long as Chen Qingyun waves, the little guy will fly back immediately and land on his shoulders. After placing Mo Ling, Chen Qingyun flew out of the blessed land pearl. The magic weapon has been strengthened and Mo Ling has awakened. Now there is less than a month left before the start of the ancient repair cave. Chen Qingyun was preparing for such a crazy enhancement of the magic weapon in preparation for the treasure hunt in the ancient cave in the near future. According to the records of the fragments of the green brilliance mirror, the ancient cave is about to open in a few months. Regarding this treasure hunting party, Chen Qingyun had both expectations and fears in his heart. Because the green mirror was divided into 6 pieces. The remaining 5 owners of the green mirror fragments, how strong they are, and where they come from, are still unknown. Joining hands with outsiders to explore treasures, causing internal strife, targeting, and even killing people for treasures, and turning against each other are commonplace. Chen Qingyun had to improve his strength more. Through this period of hard work, it is not just the improvement of magic tools. Because of long-term practice on the 3 flowers gathering spirit platform, and taking the essence of the spirit wood to assist, his cultivation has been consolidated to the peak of the late stage of foundation building, and he is only one step away from the great perfection of foundation building. Well prepared, before leaving, Chen Qingyun told Chen Qingyun that he was going on a long journey, at least for more than 2 months. In addition, he gave Chen Qingyun the Hunyuan boat in the demon refining tower. He is not short of flying magic tools now, and there is no need to continue to strengthen the Hunyuan boat, which can be transferred to the 5th sister for use. This level of top-grade demon refining tower is prepared for the 5th sister. Be careful on your way. Chen Qingyun put away the magic weapon, gave a warning, and watched Chen Qingyun go away. Taking the pen log, riding the wind and waves on the sea, Chen Qingyun headed eastward towards the direction of Xingzong. 5 days later, he arrived at Qianlong Island, one of the outer islands of Xingzong. The island has everything from harbors, Zhuxian market, and towns, and it is very lively. Chen Qingyun spent a spirit stone and learned from a casual cultivator that the location of the teleportation array on this island is in the south of the island, and it is guarded and operated by cultivators sent by Xingzong all year round. When he came to the area where the teleportation array was located, he saw a lot of cultivators gathered around. There were men and women, old and young, and their cultivation ranged from Qi refining stage to purple mansion stage. He, a foundation building cultivator, was not very noticeable here, and all kinds of bustling sounds came, which seemed quite lively. Chapter 195 Girl Link's Eye. Deu Li Zhang, don't mess up again when we go to the outer sea to hunt monsters this time. We almost fell into the hands of that sea ape last time. Dad, the outer sea is so far away. I don't want to go to Wuan Island to practice. I want to stay in the family with you. Be obedient. Your aunt is in Wuan Island. If you miss home, let your aunt take you back to sea. Hey, 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 make way, don't block here, the seniors of Xingzong are here. With this shout, the bustling conversation suddenly decreased. Chen Qingyun's eyes followed the side of the crowd and saw 4 Xingzong monks walking together. 3 of them wore the uniforms of Xingzong outer disciples. They were all middle-aged and had the strength of the initial stage of foundation building. The most eye-catching one was the young man in the middle, who was surrounded by the 3 like a jewel in the palm of their hands. This person was wearing a robe with star and cloud patterns, and he was tall and slender. His face was full of coldness and a bit of arrogance. When he saw the monks gathered around him, he seemed to ignore them. He was the first to step into the teleportation array under the flattering invitation of a Xingzong monk next to him. It's so eye-catching, and the pomp is quite big. Hey, this person is extraordinary. It turns out that he is a core disciple of Xingzong, no wonder. Oh, the pride of Xingzong, I can't afford to offend him. It's really amazing. I wish I could join Xingzong someday. Several discussions were heard. When the core disciple of Xingzong heard the discussions around him, a proud look appeared on his cold face, but it soon disappeared. Xingzong disciples are divided into 4 levels: menial, outer, inner and core. Core disciples are at the top, and their status can be imagined. Core disciple. Chen Qingyun looked at the man twice and happened to meet his eyes. With just this simple glance, he felt like he was facing a dragon that was about to wake up, with a bit of deterrence, giving people the feeling that he was not easy to provoke. But the other party just glanced at him casually and looked away. Then, he talked to the 3 Xingzong monks who were smiling beside him, and didn't care about Chen Qingyun and others at all. Just a moment later, one of the Xingzong monks showed a majestic look, glanced at Chen Qingyun and others, and said without emotion, "The teleportation array is about to open. The fee is 22 spirit stones. Those who need to be teleported, hurry up, and don't wait after the deadline." As Yuzilin said, it is not expensive to teleport from here, and 22 spirit stones can be teleported to the outer sea. Seeing this situation, the surrounding monks had no time to pay attention to the core disciples of the Xingzong, and they all paid spirit stones. Chen Qingyun mixed in among them, paid the teleportation fee, followed many monks, and stepped into the teleportation array. Next, after waiting for a while, the 3 outer sect monks of Xingzong said that the time had come, so they joined forces to cast a spell and open the teleportation array. Being in the teleportation array, Chen Qingyun and the other 16 people only felt that the world was spinning in front of them. But after only 1 or 2 breaths, they were teleported to the outer sea, an island called Leizu Island. Chen Qingyun stayed on the island for half a day and bought a map of the Black Dragon Sea. Then he set off alone and sailed in the vast sea. On the boundless sea, it is difficult to feel the passage of time. Sometimes there are strong winds and waves sweeping in, and there are monsters surging in the sea and attacking the Panlong. These pose no threat to the Panlong and the 5 elements. As a second-level inferior spirit ship, the Panlong can not only shrink and store itself, but also continuously absorb water spirit energy as power to move forward. Moreover, it has a similar effect to the wind-fixing bead, which can withstand the impact of sky wind, tornadoes, huge waves, etc., and can sail stably on the sea. As for those sea monsters, most of them are of the first tier. Occasionally, second-tier monsters appear, but in front of the 5 elements, they are ultimately reduced to refining materials. But whether it is the Panlong, the 5 elements, or even Chen Qingyun himself, in this vast sea, they are just a drop in the ocean. as small as dust. The sun rises and the moon sets, and 3 days pass in a blink of an eye. Black flood sea. On the reef of a small deserted island. 4 figures stand on each side, forming a 4-corner formation, with a distance of more than 10 meters between them, each on guard. Although the atmosphere is not tense, the 4 people are secretly alert, keeping track of each other's every move. It seems that as long as they notice something wrong, they will fight with swords, or turn around and run. Let the sea breeze whistle and the sun burn. The 4 people still stand still, just like that for a moment, and finally someone breaks the silence. "My friend from Lingbao Mountain, your sect is in chaos, fighting among the people. As an inner sect disciple, why don't you go to mediate and persuade them? Why do you come to play in this big place? Aren't you afraid that after you go back, the sect will disappear into thin air, and all the past will become the past?" The speaker was a middle-aged Taoist priest with a Taoist bun on his head, a dustpan in his hand, and a sword on his back. This man looked to be in his 40s, with a peaceful and elegant appearance. Even when he spoke, his tone was not hurried, giving people a feeling of being bathed in spring breeze. He smiled, and the cultivator he was talking to was dressed like a cultivator from the sect. The black patterned robe, with golden lace on the collar and cuffs, looked quite luxurious at first glance. This dress, coupled with the 3 crescent-shaped magic weapons that were slowly floating and flashing with cold light around this person. Anyone with a bit of vision can recognize that this is an inner sect disciple from Lingbao Mountain. To be promoted to the inner sect in Lingbao Mountain, one must have at least reached the foundation building stage. Hearing what Taoist Huayu said, Sun Tai looked calm and responded to the other person's gaze expressionlessly, without speaking. Not far away on his right, the girl in a light gauze, with a graceful and slender figure and a gorgeous face, laughed and spoke first. "Brother, from Lingbao Mountain, your backyard has been on fire for a long time. Now that these days have passed, how is the situation? Will it really be torn apart?" The girl's bright eyes and white teeth, her beauty, every move is eye-catching and makes people's hearts sway. But the strange thing is that such a beauty does not make people think that this is Beiyu Guang or the goddess of dreams at first glance. Instead, she is a bit charming and enchanting, not pure. Hearing the girl's question, Sun Tai raised his eyebrows slightly, looked at her deeply, and said, "Miss Linksai, the affairs of Lingbao Mountain are family affairs, and it is not the turn of outsiders to comment on them, so you don't have to worry about it." Then, Sun Tai sneered and looked directly into the girl's eyes. "Compared to Lingbao Mountain, the situation on your fantasy island is not much better. You should worry about yourself and be careful not to be destroyed by your old ghost father." Chapter 196 Phantom Island. Sun Tai said this. Ling Zai, who was originally smiling like a flower, suddenly stopped smiling, pouted and glared at Sun Tai. "What do you care?" Her every move. Whether she was smiling or angry gave people a pleasing feeling, and all of them exuded pink charm. But whether it was Taoist Huayu, Sun Tai, or another person, at this time, they did not think Ling Zai was so good-looking, beautiful, and they would not have the heart to pity her. They dared not offend this ancestor. Don't look at this woman's delicate and charming appearance. Just listen to the name with a spirit of fairy. She is definitely a delicate beauty. In fact, she has a great background. Her own cultivation in the late stage of foundation building, not to mention how powerful she is in the scene. Just say that the other party is a master of the magic sect, a magic cultivator from the magic island, and the daughter of the island owner of the sect. This identity is extraordinary. The master of the Phantom Demon Island is a famous purple mansion cultivator in the outer sea cultivation world. Even the master of the giant island has to lower his head when he sees him. However, the current Phantom Demon Island is not peaceful. Recently, it has been suppressed by the forces of both good and evil. 6 months ago, the master of the Phantom Demon Island had a war with the Purple Sun Master. In that battle, he was seriously injured and his demon body was greatly damaged. Afterwards, the master of the Phantom Demon Island not only consumed a lot of natural materials and treasures, but also did not hesitate to kill his disciples and swallow the blood of his children to repair his injuries. causing panic among the people on the island. Even a tiger will not eat its own cubs. In the eyes of the demon cultivators, as long as it is for their own interests, why would they care about blood ties? Therefore, Sun Tai's previous words immediately touched Ling Zai's pain point. This demon frowned and did not want to pay attention to Sun Tai anymore. Seeing Ling Zai's angry look, Sun Tai knew that if he said a few more words, he might start a fight. He did not provoke this ancestor anymore. He stopped talking, turned his head, and looked at another direction, where a casual cultivator was standing. The casual cultivator was a middle-aged man, and his appearance and clothes were ordinary, with nothing special. The only thing that attracted people's attention was his pair of bright eyes, as if he could see through people's hearts. The three of you are all well-known figures, with backers and many resources to support you. I think you have the advantage in this cave treasure hunt. This person's name is Zhuo Xiangwen, and he is a casual cultivator from the alien seed. He got a piece of the green mirror fragment by chance, and he prepared for 3 or 4 years before he dared to come alone to participate in this cave treasure hunt. Originally, he thought that there would be 1 or 2 casual cultivators among the cultivators who were traveling with him, so that he would not fall into a disadvantage. But unexpectedly, only 3 people came, and all 3 of them were from a certain faction. The one who called himself the Taoist priest who said that he came from Hongxia Temple, and his cultivation was not bad, reaching the late stage of foundation building. Somehow, this Taoist priest did not practice well in the Taoist temple, pursuing the state of no desire and no demand, but came to grab the opportunity. What made Zhuo Xiangwen secretly complain was that when this Taoist priest saw the demon cultivator, he did not do anything to eliminate the demon and defend the way, or to uphold justice. Even in words, he never expressed his disgust for Ling Zai. Strange, really strange. Zhuo Xiangwen sighed in his heart. It was the first time he saw a Taoist priest who could have the intention of joining forces with the demon cultivator who was on the opposite side to search for treasure. As for the other one named Sun Tai, as a disciple of Lingbao Mountain, not to mention that he was also in the late stage of foundation building, he held the killing treasure of Tanglzi. Just looking at the 3 crescent magic weapons surrounding him, revealing the aura of a second-level top-grade magic weapon, he is not so easy to deal with. This guy dares to show off his weapons so high profile. I am afraid he has many magic weapons with him, and he is definitely not an easy person to deal with. I am afraid he is more difficult to deal with than Taoist Huiyu and Ling Zai. This operation will take some effort with his bottom cultivation of the middle stage of foundation building. Hearing Zhuo Xiangwen's words, Taoist Huiyu just smiled slightly, squinted his eyes and shook off the dust in his hand, without saying a word, turned his head and looked at the vast sea. Sun Tai is a man of few words, but he doesn't like Zhuo Xiangwen's hidden meaning. He glanced at him coldly and said, "If you feel that you are at a disadvantage, you can withdraw. No one is forcing you to die." Zhuo Xiangwen's face darkened when he heard Sun Tai's words. Seeing that he had a punching bag to catch, Ling Zai immediately started to retort, "Brother, you look honest, but why are you more sarcastic than us demon cultivators when you speak? Why don't you come to our fantasy demon island? I can introduce you to my island owner, and you will have good things to do." Zhuo Xiangwen's face became even uglier when he heard this, and he gritted his teeth secretly, but he didn't show it too obviously. He just replied in a deep voice, "I am used to being lazy, but I don't have that blessing." After that, he ignored it. In his opinion, if he really went to Fantasy Demon Island and went deep into the dragon's den, he would never be able to leave alive. Seeing Zhuo Xiangwen turned his head away, like Sun Tai, looking at the vast sea and keeping silent, Ling Zai was too lazy to make fun of him anymore. The atmosphere fell into silence again, with only the whistling sea breeze and the surging waves. The seagulls, birds and beasts around seemed to feel uneasy here, and avoided it from a distance, not approaching half a step. The 4 of them stood quietly, waiting for the remaining 2. They had just collected 4 pieces of the green mirror fragments, and they were still 2 pieces short. No matter how tense the atmosphere was, they could only hold their noses and continue to wait. Wait until the 6 pieces of the green mirror arrive, then it won't be too late to take action. The four people each had their own calculations in mind, wanting to see who the person is and whether it is beneficial to them. If a purple mansion cultivator comes, there will be no treasure hunting. In the world of immortal cultivation, there are many examples of high-level cultivators lowering their status to suppress low-level cultivators for opportunities and treasures, which is already commonplace. Just as the silent atmosphere appeared again, it didn't last long. On the sea in the distance, a flying boat gradually crossed the sea and appeared inside. When the flying boat got closer, I saw a green figure standing on the flying boat, and a black eagle-like spirit beast stood on the shoulder. Which cultivator is this? Zhuxiantu's eyes were bright, and his sight fell on the eagle-like spirit beast, a little puzzled. The Wind and Thunder Eagle, could it be a beast-controlling cultivator from Tankan Island? The Tankan Island he was talking about was a famous island power in the outer sea, founded by Tankan Zenrin, who used the Wind and Thunder Eagle as the main spirit beast to practice thunder-attributed magic. As a casual cultivator, he had seen the cultivators from Tankan Island take action, using the Wind and Thunder Eagle to perform thunder magic, which could burst out a terrifying force far beyond the same level. If it weren't for the powerful defensive magic weapon as a support, no cultivator of the same level would provoke them. Not only Zhuxiantu, but also Taoist Hunyuan and Sun Tai thought that the cultivators coming were from Tankan Island, and they all raised their eyebrows subconsciously. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 197 Zhuxiantu and number 039 Thoughts, the Art of Seduction. But the truth is, where did this Tankan Island cultivator come from? If not Chen Qingyun, who else could it be? When approaching here, in order to keep a low profile and not attract attention, Chen Qingyun put away the panlon and turned to control the Qingguang boat to move forward. Seeing that four figures had gathered on the island, they were probably his companions. Chen Qingyun controlled the Qingguang boat to slowly descend, and his eyes had already taken a look at Sun Tai and the other four. He seemed to be gentle, but the four were not ordinary people. Just by intuition, it can be seen that Chen Qingyun's calm appearance is turbulent, and he is definitely not a character that is easy to provoke. For a moment, Chen Qingyun became the focus. Especially the moling on his shoulder, who was all black and had golden feathers on his head. One black and one gold looked unusual, and seemed to have a great background. This couldn't help but attract Zhuxiantu to look at it a few more times. The more he looked, the more he felt that it looked like a Wind and Thunder Eagle, but he always felt that something was wrong. So he subconsciously took 2 steps back and asked with a serious look, "Are you a fellow Taoist from Tankan Island?" The cultivators on Tankan Island were dressed in different styles and did not have uniform clothing. So he could not be sure whether Chen Qingyun was a cultivator from Tankan Island. He could only guess through moling to verify whether the guess was correct. When Zhuxiantu said this, Taoist Hunyuan and Sun Tai secretly straightened their expressions and listened attentively. They had heard of the name of Tankan Island and knew that the island had a good origin. It was founded by the descendants of a giant and elder from Hunyuan Island. In general, Tankan Island also has its back to Hunyuan Island, and not everyone dares to provoke it. Therefore, it is particularly important to determine Chen Qingyun's origins at the moment. You can't offend him because of a few words, otherwise there will be no good results. And looking at Ling's eye again, he didn't care whether Chen Qingyun was a cultivator from Tankan Island. It's not like she hasn't killed cultivators from this faction before, so she knows how to deal with them, and she doesn't care. Her eyes fell on Mo Ling, and when she saw the golden feather, she looked thoughtful, and no one knew what she was thinking about. Lyra Island? Chen Qingyun's expression froze, and he muttered to himself. This was the first time he had heard of this spiritual island. Why wouldn't the other party ask this? Was he on good terms with Lyra Island, or was he hostile? They had just met for the first time, So why did the other party wonder if she was from Lyre Island? What was the similarity? This origin cannot be revealed casually, and naturally there is no need to tie herself to Lyre Island. Thinking in his heart that he would need to learn more about the origin of Lyre Island later, Chen Qingyun deliberately released his cultivation aura, looked back at Zhuxiantu, and said, "I am Liu An, a casual cultivator. Nice to meet you. If he comes to treasure hunt with these strange cultivators as a cultivator of the Chen family, and if he gets any benefits, the other party will want to rob him and covet him, and it will be easy for him to target the Chen family. He can also be found by following the location of the Chen family. He would not do such a stupid thing as exposing his origins and leaving hidden dangers here. The more mysterious he can keep his identity secret, the better. When the word casual cultivator came out, Zhuxiantu breathed a sigh of relief. But then, after feeling the aura of Chen Qingyun's cultivation, he took another deep breath. Late foundation building. Oh, my goodness, 4 of the 5 people are in the late foundation building period. I am the only one in the middle foundation building period, which really makes me a stepping stone. Originally in the Outer Sea cultivation world, looking at the small piece of land of Fenyangfang City, I was also a well-known figure with face and reputation. Now that you are here today, you must restrain your arrogance and dare not speak carelessly. Oh, fellow Taoist Lu is also a casual cultivator. Nice to meet you. Taoist Huyu raised a smile at the corner of his mouth and glanced at Zhuxiantu intentionally or unintentionally. Although Sun Tai was born in a famous family, he did not look down on Chen Qingyun because he heard that he was a casual cultivator. He responded with a bow without saying anything. Ling Sai was still thinking, and her beautiful eyes were attracted by Mo Ling. She saw that this was not a wind and thunder eagle, but she did not speak to correct it. Haha, fellow Taoist Lu, nice to meet you. Noticing Taoist Huyu's small movements, Zhuxiantu squeezed out a smile and greeted him. This is also a casual cultivator. At least it is not certain whether they will stand in the same camp. At least he is not a sect cultivator, so it is not too difficult to deal with. Since it is confirmed that he is not a Tankan Island cultivator, Zhuxiantu and the other 2 no longer pay too much attention to Mo Ling's existence. The original 4-legged tripod situation became more tense because of Chen Qingyun's joining. Zhuxiantu moved closer to Chen Qingyun intentionally or unintentionally, as if he wanted to stand in the same camp with Chen Qingyun first. Unexpectedly, this person secretly transmitted a message and introduced the origins of Ling Sai and others. Chen Qingyun was cautious in his heart. He noticed Zhuxiantu's little action. He didn't express anything when he heard the other party's active introduction. While listening, he stretched out his hand to tease Mo Ling on his shoulder. From beginning to end, no one had the idea of revealing their identity too much. They didn't want to leave any tails, but deliberately released the aura of cultivation. After listening to Zhuxiantu's introduction, Chen Qingyun had some understanding of the origins of Ling Sai and the other 2. For example, Sun Tai had a good origin, late foundation building strength, backed by Lingbao Mountain, and directly revealing his identity could have a deterrent effect. This inner disciple of Lingbao Mountain is not only powerful, but also has Tanzi with him. Moreover, if anyone dares to kill at will, it will easily lead to investigation by Lingbao Mountain. Playing the sect card can make Chen Qingyun and his friends think twice before they start. Don't just look at the opponent's cultivation to determine the combat power. These few thunder seeds can kill the late foundation building and peak cultivators. As for Taoist Huyu, Chen Qingyun can probably guess that he is from a Taoist temple by looking at his appearance. When he looked at Ling Sai, the witch from the Magic Island, he looked directly at her. Brother, Lu, your bird is so unique, can you let me play with it? Ling Sai smiled and spoke softly. As she spoke, the woman's eyes flashed with a pink halo, and every word she said was extremely tender, like a gentle breeze and drizzle, and her voice was very sweet. Chen Qingyun only felt a tremor in his heart, and the moon-sun orb glowed at this time, emitting a warm feeling, pulling back his touched thoughts. What a powerful charm technique! Chen Qingyun sighed in his heart. Recalling his previous emotional changes, The other party seemed to be right next to his ear, whispering quietly, and the momentary trance made him feel frightened. If the moon-sun orb had not been triggered and cleared the enchanting illusion in time, making his mind clear, he might have agreed and handed over Moling. The cultivators of the Magic Island should be more careful about this enchanting technique. The charm technique did not attract Chen Qingyun. Lingzai opened her cherry mouth slightly and was surprised. He is so determined, but this can't seduce him. Chapter 198 Xingzong Nangong Ming. Seeing that seducing Chen Qingyun didn't work, Lingzai was secretly surprised and tried to use the charm technique again to see how good the character of the young man in front of her was. But at this time, before she could cast the spell, Chen Qingyun spoke directly and said coldly, "Fellow Taoist Lingzai, don't waste your energy. My Petashian can't contact outsiders." Mo Ling flapped his wings and cooperated with Chen Qingyun, leaning on Chen Qingyun's neck and tilting his head to avoid him. The little guy said, "Strange people, don't get close to me. It doesn't matter if you look good. If you don't want to give it, then don't give it. Why are you so mean to me?" The request was rejected. Seeing that Chen Qingyun was unmoved, Lingzai didn't want to try again, and couldn't help but say coquettishly, "HMPH, keep it for yourself. I don't want a black clown bird." After saying that, she ignored Chen Qingyun and turned her head to the side to sulk. Taoist priest Tuayu, Zuo Xiangwen, and even Sun Tai, who were standing by, looked like they were watching a show when they saw Chen Qingyun and Lingzai communicating like this. The atmosphere fell silent. After a while, the sun above became even stronger. Lingzai's sullenness had mostly disappeared. She stretched out her jade hand to cover her smooth forehead, breaking the silence first, complaining in a tone, "It's been so long, why hasn't the last person come yet? My sister's feet are almost numb from standing." The four of them heard this and knew that this little witch liked to play tricks, so they let her complain without responding. They were all thinking about something and patiently waiting for the last person to arrive. Just a moment later, Chen Qingyun was the first to move his expression and looked at the sea in the distance. Following Chen Qingyun, Zuo Xiangwen and the other four also looked in the same direction one by one. The five eyes looked at the same time, and saw that in the distance, where the sea and the sky met, a flying boat was riding the wind and waves and rushing towards them. In the blink of an eye, the flying boat approached the five people and landed on the beach of the island, revealing the appearance of a young man. Zuo Xiangwen looked at him quickly and attentively. He saw that the other party was wearing a purple robe decorated with stars, a silver hair crown on his head, and a flying star boat unique to the Xingzong. These features immediately attracted his attention and he couldn't help but exclaimed, "Xingzong, cultivator." When he said these four words, his tone fluctuated obviously, and a strong sense of fear could be heard. Looking at the entire Xinghai, there is no need to say more about the strength of Xingzong. Taoist Huayu and Sun Tai raised their eyebrows slightly, each calculating whether it was worth fighting with the disciples of Xingzong, and why such a character came. Lingzai, who had originally looked indifferent, also showed a serious expression at this moment, and quietly moved towards Chen Qingyun. She always felt that among those present, only Chen Qingyun looked easier to talk to. Her action attracted Mo Ling's attention. The woman and the beast glared at each other and quickly turned their heads away. The sixth participant was actually a disciple from Xingzong, and he became the focus of attention for a while. Chen Qingyun had seen Xingzong disciples several times, but compared with the one in front of him, those could not attract too much attention from him. "It's him." After taking a closer look at the other person's appearance, Chen Qingyun's expression was slightly condensed. A second-grade purple-black flying star boat. He was wearing a star cloud pattern robe that the core disciples of Xingzong wore, which was also a second-grade magic weapon. Compared with Chen Qingfeng, this person was superior in temperament, identity, and strength. He put away the flying star boat and stood there, with an arrogant and domineering temperament, like a king descending on earth, overlooking all living beings. It was obvious that he was not someone to be provoked. The cultivation contained in the other person was unreserved and released in full, making it impossible to ignore. This person was the core disciple of Xingzong that Chen Qingyun met before at the Qian Long Island teleportation array. Last time, it was just a chance encounter, but today I met him again here. The world is really small. The peak of the foundation building period. Looking at the cultivation that the other party deliberately released, it is no wonder that Zhuxiantu's expression was touched and showed surprise. This strength, in terms of realm, is undoubtedly the strongest existence in the field. At that time, the three outer disciples of Xingzong flattered this person and smiled and greeted him. It was not without reason. While everyone was looking at him, the Xingzong disciple did not introduce himself, but raised his head, scanned everyone, and asked slowly in a questioning tone. You all have fragments of ancient mirrors in your hands, right? Are all of the people here? As soon as the voice fell, the light surged in his eyes, and his sight fell on Chen Qingyun. He paused for a moment, remembering that he had seen Chen Qingyun at the teleportation array before. But that was all. Soon, he ignored Chen Qingyun, standing alone and proudly, standing quietly, waiting for the answers of several people. Seeing the other party's attitude, he must have grown up with a golden key and was worth a lot of money. Taoist Hunyuan's eyes flashed with cunning. Wait for a moment. Seeing that Chen Qingyun and the other four had not spoken, they obviously did not like being questioned like this. Seeing that the Xingzong disciple's face gradually became gloomy, Taoist Huyu took the lead to express his opinion with a smile on his face. Haha. I guess they are all here. As soon as he finished speaking, he stared at the other party with his eyes and asked with interest. Little layman, you came from the prosperous inner star sea. I don't know what to call you. I have admired the reputation of the star sect for a long time. When I meet today, the young layman must be the best among those people. He is quite lucky to be interested in setting foot in our barren and alien sea. After hearing this, the Qing sect disciple turned to look at Taoist Master Huyu, with a smile on his lips, raised his head slightly, and responded loudly, I am the core disciple of Qing sect, Nangong Ming. Nangong. Upon hearing this surname, the silent Sun Tai suddenly changed his expression. He was not surprised, but looked straight at Nangong Ming with his eyes like a knife. Sir, who are you, Nangong Yuang? He asked in a deep voice. When Nangong Ming mentioned Nangong Yuang, the #1 purple mansion in Xinghai, Nangong Ming showed pride on his face. He didn't care at all about Sun Tai's direct gaze and responded rather arrogantly. Nangong Yuang is my father. In terms of birth and background, he is one step ahead of Chen Qingyun and stands above them. Oh, it turns out he is a descendant of the #1 Z mansion in the Xinghai Sea. He is indeed magnificent and has an outstanding temperament. Taoist Master Huyu no longer regarded himself as a young layman. His expression became solemn, and he couldn't help but look at Nangong Ming a few more times. He was at the peak of his cultivation in the foundation building period, and he was a descendant of Nangong Yuang, with such an extraordinary background. Nangong Ming must have many trump cards, and he is the most powerful one in the field. In his opinion, although Chen Qingyun also has a good temperament and is dressed in a luxurious green robe, he looks like a dragon diving into the deep sea, unlike a monk who is just leisurely building a foundation. But compared with Nangong Ming, who was of noble birth and had stronger cultivation, the gap was still huge. The difficulty of this battle has undoubtedly increased a bit. When she learned that Nangong Ming had a good background, Lingxi was also wary. Like Chen Qingyun, she remained silent and just watched calmly. Okay, you don't need to delay any longer. Take out the fragments of the ancient mirror and piece together the green brilliance mirror first. Nangong Ming was extremely conceited and had long been accustomed to acting in a superior manner. He acted as the leader and called on several people to take action. Chapter 199 The Cave Opens. Okay, that's what I meant. At this time, Zhuxiantu seemed a bit of a lackey, and took out the first ancient mirror fragment with a smile. Following Zhuxiantu, Sun Tai made a move, and when he stared at Nangong Ming, the second ancient mirror fragment appeared in his hand. Haha, then let's do as Nangong Deu said, and it's better to gather them as soon as possible. Taoist Huayu smiled faintly, flicked the whisk in his hand, and the third piece appeared. Seeing this, Chen Qingyun took out the fourth piece without a sound. Next was Ling Zai, who touched the storage bag on her waist with her jade hand and took out the fifth ancient mirror fragment, with a pair of beautiful eyes full of expectation. Very good. Qingguang Ming saw that everyone obeyed his orders, and was quite satisfied in his heart, and immediately took out the sixth piece. After the 6 pieces of ancient mirror fragments appeared, before everyone got close, they immediately attracted each other, slowly floated and began to gather. Under the gazes of several people, the broken mirror fragments adjusted the gaps and interface positions, pieced together, and formed a complete treasure mirror. In just a moment, the green mirror was born, emitting a hazy green light, which looked a bit weird. Then, under the gazes of everyone, the green mirror automatically turned and aimed at the blue sea. When the energy gathered, it actually shot out a brilliant beam of light. This scene attracted several people to watch attentively, but they were not surprised that the green mirror had spirituality and could automatically activate its power. The eyes of several people were closely fixed on the area illuminated by the beam of light. I saw that this green beam of light was full of majestic power and contained the power of water. After it shone on the sea surface, a magical scene appeared. Within a radius of 1,000 feet, the originally calm ocean water began to look like a blue curtain. Under the illumination of this green beam of light, it became turbulent, rolling back to both sides, slowly leaving a gully in the sea. No, to be precise, it is splitting up millions of tons of seawater. There is no earth-shaking power. The boundless sea that was still surging and unshakable a while ago. Now, right in front of everyone, it is slowly split up. The seawater is constantly squeezed, overlapped, and condensed on both sides to form 2 towering blue water walls. Some fish that have not escaped in time fell down. They couldn't understand why the seawater around them disappeared when they were originally wrapped in the seawater and swimming happily in the sea. As the green mirror exerted its overwhelming power, a wide submarine road was revealed in front of everyone, and the seabed scene could be clearly seen. Everyone was attracted by the scene in front of them, but they didn't feel it was so shocking. They were just surprised at the power of the green mirror. It seemed that someone was secretly controlling it, or it had intelligence and could automatically split water and overturn the sea. The power contained in the 2 squeezed and gathered towering water walls was estimated to reach hundreds of millions of pounds if it poured down. If this were to happen to a cultivator, the consequences would be disastrous. Rumbling sounds were heard, and a dark cave appeared at the end of the submarine passage. The cave began to grow from the size of a fist, and in just a moment, it became 2 or 3 feet in size, which could accommodate 6 people at the same time. The entrance to the cave. Taoist Huayu's eyes surged, and he looked from afar. The next moment, the green mirror began to move and flew quickly towards the entrance of the cave. As soon as Taoist Huayu finished speaking, a figure drove a flying boat and chased after the green mirror. Qingguang Ming kept silent, stepped on the flying star boat, and sped towards the cave. With the opportunity of the cave ahead, he would not be so generous as to invite a few people to go in and explore the treasure. If he went in by himself, he could monopolize the opportunity treasures inside. Seeing such a scene, the cave at the end of the submarine passage must lead to the cave. The crowd had no time to think about it, and they didn't care to clear the opponent first. They used various means and moved quickly. Stepping on the flying sword, or controlling the flying boat, or performing the wind control technique. 6 figures were extremely fast, and they entered the cave entrance one after another. Looking back, Chen Qingyun could see that the water walls on both sides began to slowly close and close. Obviously, this submarine passage would not last too long. If he hesitated for a moment, how could he step into this ancient cave? Buzz, buzz, buzz. At the same time, a sound so subtle that it was almost inaudible sounded. Chen Qingyun subconsciously looked in the direction of the sound, and saw a disc-shaped object flashing in the hands of Taoist Huayu, which seemed to be a round array disc, which was rapidly activated. Then, the object was hidden in the sleeves and disappeared. Array disc. This guess emerged in his mind, and before Chen Qingyun could take a closer look, the world in front of several people suddenly spun, and the scene changed, and a dark picture appeared, as if they were in a black hole, and they could not see their hands in front of their faces. Moreover, it seemed that some force swept over, constantly pulling their bodies, and they felt waves of pain. Fortunately, this pulling force only appeared for a moment and disappeared in an instant. Everyone felt that the surroundings had calmed down. When they opened their eyes, they saw that the scene in front of them had changed and was unfamiliar. It was like they had come to the outer area of a cave, surrounded by mountains and rocks, and the scenery was barren. After scanning the surrounding environment, several people checked each other to see if they had all come in. Chen Qingyun's eyes fell on Taoist Huayu, and he looked at the other's sleeves intentionally or unintentionally, recalling the array disc-shaped object he saw when he came in before. He always felt that something was wrong. Taoist Huayu noticed Chen Qingyun's gaze. Not only did he not mean to avoid it, but he showed a kind smile on his face. At this time, a discordant voice sounded. "You look like a mixed bag, but you are in the middle and late stages of foundation building, and you are smart and know to follow in." Nangang Ming frowned and spoke first, and glanced at Chen Qingyun and the other five in turn, causing several people to frown. "You can shut up." Lingxi glanced at Nangang Ming, disliking the other party's weird tone, and immediately retorted, "If you don't speak, no one will think you are dumb." It was just as the voice fell that she realized that the atmosphere was wrong. Chen Qingyun and the others were afraid that they would fight here, so she did not cover up, deliberately distanced herself, and stood alone not far away, looking like she was ready to fight at any time. Nangang Ming has been spoiled since childhood. Seeing Lingxi's reply, he couldn't help but frown and was about to sneer. The Taoist Huayu suddenly moved, turned into a stream of light, and flew in the distance. The nerves of several people were tense at this time, and they were all on guard against each other's fight. They cleared their companions first to monopolize the opportunity. This move of Taoist Huayu instantly attracted attention. Several people looked and saw that Taoist Huayu was chasing the green mirror. And the green mirror was flying towards a dark door that appeared out of thin air in the distance. What's going on? That's the entrance to the cave. This guess emerged in the minds of Chen Qingyun and the other five at the same time. They didn't bother to look for it and hurriedly showed their bodies again and flew towards the door. Swish, 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 swish. 6 figures quickly escaped into the door like chasing stars and catching the moon. This time, there was no feeling of dizziness, only the light in front of my eyes changed. When I could see clearly again, I saw a blue sky and the green scenery of spring. There was no rotten smell in the air, but it was filled with the moist and fresh smell of grass and trees after the rain, mixed with the fragrance of unknown flowers and plants. Being here, people feel relaxed and happy, and they want to live in seclusion here. This is when Zhuo Xiangwen first entered this place. He was alert and squinted his eyes to look around. Chapter 200 The Holy Spring of All Things. After entering the cave, the first thing that caught my eye was a medicinal garden, where spiritual herbs and medicinal herbs were planted. The dark brown soil under my feet was soft and fluffy, and contained spiritual energy. The scenery here was not as desolate and lifeless as imagined. Instead, it was lush and full of vitality. Clusters of green grass could be seen everywhere, and it looked like no one had taken care of it for a long time. Looking at the blue sky again, there was a sun suspended, emitting bright light, which made the world transparent and bright, just like daytime. But this was located at the bottom of the sea, and what the naked eye saw was not the real sky and sun. It was nothing more than a virtual illusion, a trick to create an environment, which was very common in the world of immortal cultivation. It was just that this illusion was too realistic, and it could be mistaken for the real thing. Whether it was the warm sunshine, the grass and trees everywhere, the breeze on the face, or the fresh air after the rain, it all made people feel real. If I didn't remember clearly that this place was located at the bottom of the sea, I would really mistake it for land. Chen Qingyun's expression moved, and he looked at the surrounding environment. He saw many familiar spiritual medicine varieties. For example, blood replenishing Ganoderma, golden bud grass, Dankson flower fruit, etc. Just as he was about to pick them, Chen Qingyun suddenly made a new discovery. He temporarily ignored those spiritual medicines and was attracted by the surrounding canal-like landforms. The medicinal field here is about 3,000 square meters in area, divided into 4 large blocks, arranged in a field shape. In the middle area of the 4 medicinal fields, there is an irregular small lake, about 200 square meters, spreading out 4 water paths, irrigating the surrounding land and providing water for the cultivation of spiritual medicines. Compared with the use of the soul-gathering rain art, this irrigation method is not very practical. It often requires monks to guard and promote the flow of water so that it will not become stagnant water due to long-term stagnation. But the difference is that the water in those canals is flowing slowly at this time, emitting dots of light and appearing sparkling. Even if they are not close, they can feel the rich breath of life in those water flows. The holy spring of all things. Taoist Hunyuan is knowledgeable and follows Chen Qingyun's gaze. After just a few glances, he quickly sees the origin of those water flows. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhuxiantu took action first, took out several large jade bottles, and began to collect the holy spring of all things with quick eyes and hands. Chen Qingyun's eyes lit up slightly, and he also recognized these holy waters at this time. He couldn't help but sigh at the luxury of the owner of this cave. The holy spring of all things, this water is one of the top few spiritual springs, because it is rich in rich life aura. It can promote the rapid growth of all things and plants, hence the name. For example, the most basic yellow bud grass, it takes 2 years to sprout and mature in normal planting. However, with the holy spring of all things for irrigation and nourishment, even if it is planted in a dark place, without sunlight, wind and rain, it can not only thrive. Moreover, it can sprout and mature in a maximum of 1 year. On the other hand, in the world of immortal cultivation, the sacred spring of all things is not a rare treasure in the world, and it can be bought at a high price. In order to shorten the planting time of spiritual medicine, many large sects will purchase some to assist in the planting of medicine gardens. After all, spiritual medicine is an important jade. The cultivators will not plant them outside to let other cultivators or monsters get involved and pick them, so they will choose to plant them in the cave. Planting in the cave will take into account the problems of sunlight and spiritual energy nourishment. Often, it is impossible to open the skylight for ventilation and light, so that foreign objects have the opportunity to fly in. Therefore, cultivators with a little wealth will choose to purchase the sacred water of all things to assist in planting, so as to achieve the effect of planting high-level spiritual medicines in a sealed environment. For example, if Chen Qingyun and others want to purchase the sacred water of all things, they can afford it. Nangong Ming has several pots of this thing, which is not a rare item. However, to achieve what is happening right now, directly gather more than 200 square meters of the all things divine spring to form a small lake. This would cost millions of spirit stones, and it would not come down at all. It is also impossible to get so much in a short time, and it is time-consuming and laborious to collect from all over the place. Recognize the all things divine spring. There are so many of them. Looking at the many spiritual medicines growing around, except for Nangong Ming, everyone can't sit still, and they are the first to collect the all things divine spring. This thing is much more valuable than the first level spiritual medicine, and it can be regarded as the first opportunity to harvest on this trip. Chen Qingyun and the other 5 people acted quickly, and took out the condensed jade bottle or storage gourd. Chen Qingyun took the lead and summoned 4 puppets of the earth, fire, wood, and gold, each holding a large condensed jade bottle to collect the all things divine water. He himself set his sights on the spiritual medicines around him and began to collect them in large quantities. The number of spiritual medicines planted here has reached more than 60 kinds, mainly second-level spiritual medicines, and third-level spiritual medicines occupy a small part. Looking around, the mature ones are more than half mature, and no one has picked them for a long time. Regardless of whether they are mature or still growing, Chen Qingyun picked them all without hesitation and collected them directly into the blessed land bead. With the nourishment of the spiritual energy and the bead, These spiritual medicines can be preserved for a short period of time. Seeing Chen Qingyun take out the puppet to collect the sacred spring of all things, Taoist Huyu and the other four just looked at it casually. They were not surprised to find that the puppets were all at the 9th level of qi refining. Just secretly complaining. At this time, Chen Qingyun had the advantage whether it was collecting the divine springs of all things or picking elixirs. If I had known this, I should have bought a few puppets and brought them over. After searching for the sacred water of all things, everyone did not hesitate to make concessions when picking the elixir. No one was polite. The most greedy person is Zhuxiantu. As a casual cultivator, he had the experience of growing elixirs and spiritual fields to fill his pockets. Naturally, he knows the preciousness of elixirs. This makes him not picky about the type of elixir at all, and he will take every one he sees. Among the six, the one who showed the calmest attitude was undoubtedly Nangong Ming. These elixirs were not very attractive to him. His own practice was full of jade and he was full of treasures. He randomly picked a few third-level elixirs and stopped there. Immediately afterwards, he continued to move forward, heading towards the depths of the cave. It's good to be from a privileged background. Seeing Nangong Ming leaving first, Zhuxiantu frowned secretly, quickly rolled up the 3 magic vine grasses at his feet, and hurriedly followed. Seeing this situation, Chen Qingyun and the others also stopped picking. Although the elixir here is good, it is only on the outskirts of the cave before such an opportunity arises. If this goes deep into the cave, the subsequent opportunities can be imagined. After cultivating to the foundation building stage, everyone is not a fool, and they can still understand what is important and what is important. No one wants to do the stupid thing of picking up sesame seeds and losing the watermelon. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.